Chapter 2049. Kill. Lu Su did not hold back this time. He completely unleashed his true strength as an itinerant immortal. As his immortal power expanded, his tiger claws turned metallic. He was ready to take Yi Qin's life on the spot. Not only could he make a name for himself, but he could also embarrass Feng Qing at the same time. After all, he was the one who brought Yi Qin into the Flowing Cloud sect. Immortal power surged as he activated his immortal method. Lu Su's eyes were filled with killing intent as he charged at Yi Qin aggressively. Idiot! Faced with such a simple brute force attack. So what if his opponent was an itinerant immortal? Yi Qin was not afraid at all. Demon's eye, his eyes flashed with demonic light. Suddenly, the power of the underworld was activated. A beam of divine light rushed into Lu Su's eyes, and the scene before him changed completely. In the process of charging, Lu Su saw the realm of hell. It was extremely terrifying. Among them, countless demons were baring their fangs at him. Hellfire was like a torrent, devouring his soul, body, and flesh. The pain was unbearable and unimaginable. He was about to sink into oblivion. No! He roared angrily, completely losing his composure. Before Yi Qin, he was just a dog. Kneel! Yi Qin shouted coldly. Lu Su, who was about to take his life, felt his legs go limp, and he knelt on the ground. Everyone was shocked, not knowing what was happening. At this moment, the ground around them shook and the mountains collapsed. In the midst of everyone's shock, the space around the battle platform had already fallen into chaos. They looked at the battle platform and saw Lu Su kneeling before Yi Qin. His eyes were blank like a puppet. Lu Su, how dare you be arrogant before me? This is your fate. After saying that, Yi Qin turned around and left. Everyone was shocked. Lu Su had failed. However, just when they thought that everything would return to normal after Yi Qin left, suddenly, Lu Su roared angrily. His eyes were extremely blank, and then he chopped at his neck with his hand. Slash! Kacha! With the sound of flesh and blood splattering everywhere and bone shattering, he had chopped off his own head. Everyone was stunned. They had no idea what was happening. Lu Su was a powerful itinerant immortal. Why would he commit suicide like that? He was a person with a lofty goal. He had long since decided to enter the inner sanctum and find an elder to take as his master. Even if he failed, he shouldn't commit suicide. No one knew. Of course, Lu Su did not want to commit suicide. However, under the control of the demons, even an itinerant immortal's martial will would collapse. He could not resist Yi Qin's god of the underworld summoning. He fell into the illusion completely and died in madness. Although Yi Qin's victory was within his expectations, Lu Su's death still shocked Feng Qing. He did not expect Yi Qin to kill an itinerant immortal so easily and even make him commit suicide. This kid is too terrifying. Feng Qing could not help but comment on Yi Qin secretly. Fellow Taoist Yi, please. Please. Yi Qin left gracefully and followed Feng Qing to the elder's palace. The remaining outer sect disciples who were panicking looked at Lu Su's corpse, especially the head that rolled on the ground. Everyone was terrified. They were all wondering if Yi Qin would take their lives since he was so powerful. However, they did not know that ants like them would not even spare them a glance as long as they did not block Yi Qin's path. The elder's palace was located on a high peak in the sky cloud martial school. Halfway up the peak, there was a huge sword-shaped building. Below the sword-shaped building was a huge hall. This was the elder's palace. Please. Yi Qin nodded slightly and strode toward the elder's palace. At this moment, the door slowly opened. Instantly, waves of powerful sword chi attacked. This sword chi contained high-level immortal power. Seventh Tribulation Itinerant Immortal. Yi Qin instantly sensed the source of this power. It was a Seventh Tribulation Itinerant Immortal. Faced with such a brutal sword chi, Yi Qin closed his eyes slightly. Subsequently, he suddenly exhaled. Rumble. This aura instantly collided with the menacing sword chi. The power of both sides exploded in the void and eliminated each other. Feng Qing turned pale with fright. He was getting more and more confused about the person before him. It was already very shocking that Yi Chun could easily kill Lu Su. Now, facing a seventh tribulation itinerant immortal elder, Yi Chun could deal with it easily. This kind of divine power had surpassed that of a celestial. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Yi Chun walked into the hall and saw 3 people sitting there. One of them looked at Yi Chun coldly. Yi Chun sensed the energy in his body and knew that this was the person who released the sword chi. The sword chi of a seventh tribulation itinerant immortal was not even worth mentioning before Yi Chun. This scene made him feel extremely humiliated. "Fellow Yi, please." At this moment, an elder sitting in the center said to Yi Chun with a smile. "Yes." Yi Chun nodded slightly and sat on the throne. "Everyone, are you the elders of the Flowing Cloud Sect's Elder's Palace?" Yi Chun asked. "How rude. Do you know that the first elder is very polite to you?" At this moment, the person who released the sword chi shouted coldly. Yi Chun's eyes turned slightly cold as he looked at that person. An invisible divine light entered that person's eyes. It was a seventh tribulation bodiless immortal. So losing his composure like this was even more humiliating than having his sword chi vanquished. Upon seeing this, the first elder was very displeased. It was not because of Yi Chun's divine light, but because the first elder had lost his composure. He represented the dignity of the fleeting cloud sect. "Back off! Great elder, it's me." "Scram!" The great elder shouted angrily. Yes, the elder could only walk out of the hall. Feng Qing stepped forward and said, "First elder, Yi Chun has been brought here. Along the way, Yi Chun's talent is completely in line with our previous understanding. In fact, he's even better than us. I'm impressed by his strength. Feng Qing, you've done very well. It's your credit that you were able to bring fellow Yi here. You may leave now." "Yes." Feng Qing bowed slightly and walked out of the hall. At that moment, Yi Chun was facing the 2 elders alone in the main hall. The strength of these 2 people was clearly above Feng Qing and the elder who released the sword chi. One of them was an 8th tribulation bodiless immortal, while the first elder was a peak 9th tribulation bodiless immortal. Even so, Yi Chun could see the problem. He thought, Feng Qing said to let me meet the venerable elder. Could this first elder before me be the venerable elder? Yi Chun sized up the first elder before him. Although this person was shrewd and had a profound cultivation base, Yi Chun did not look like a top powerhouse. Yi Chun judged that this person was not the venerable elder. Chapter 2050. Let's get straight to the point. How did you know of my existence? Yi Chun asked the 2 elders directly. The elder below looked at the first elder with a slightly awkward expression. He did not expect Yi Chun to be so direct and ask such a question. Fellow Yi, why are you so concerned about this matter? I invited you here. Did you invite me here? Even in the face of the first elder, Yi Chun spoke coldly. This caused the 2 of them to feel somewhat awkward at the same time. They were also quite shocked. It was very rare for Yi Chun to have such courage at such a young age. He dared to be so imposing in front of them. They had seen countless geniuses in their lives, but this was the first time they had seen someone like Yi Chun. Fellow Yi, what do you mean by that? The first elder asked. Fellow Yi, although you're a genius, you still have to respect the first elder. He's the ruler of the Elders' Hall. The elder below said coldly. Ruler, I want to see the venerable elder. What does this have to do with the first elder? The first elder's brows furrowed as he released his immortal power. Rumble. Suddenly, the air exploded and the heat hit Yi Chun. Oh! Yi Chun sneered slightly. A beam of divine power shot out from between his brows, instantly destroying the energy before him and countering the first elder. The first elder trembled and raised both palms to resist the attack. This exchange allowed the first elder to sense the strength of the person in front of him. The sword chi released by the elder who had been chased away earlier had been easily neutralized. Now, it seemed to be the most reasonable explanation because the first elder had already sensed that Yi Chun's strength was not inferior to his. With such strength at the Mahayana stage, You have the right to be arrogant. Cut the crap. Where's the venerable elder? Huh, it's not that easy to meet the venerable elder. The first elder's tone changed as if he wanted to pressure Yi-chan. What test do you have? Why would I be afraid? I'm not happy to beat around the bush. Be careful, or I'll tear your flowing cloud sect apart. Yi-chan's arrogance surprised the two again. How could they have thought that a Mahayana kid would dare to speak like this in front of two high-level itinerant immortals? If this was known, where would their dignity be? Fortunately, there were only the two of them here, so they felt slightly better. All right, I'll bring you to see the Supreme Elder. Go. Yi-chan had to figure out how they knew about his existence as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would be too passive. Therefore, forceful methods were necessary. The first elder led Yi-chan through the main hall and into a secret passage. Within this secret passage, there were all sorts of patterns. Fellow Taoist Yi, do you recognize these patterns? Yi-chan knew that this person wanted to test his formation cultivation base. He casually glanced at the wall and continued forward. Fellow Taoist Yi, could it be that you don't recognize these patterns? Seeing what Yi-chan was doing, the man knew that Yi-chan was clearly trying to avoid the topic and escape. Otherwise, with just a glance, it would have been impossible for him to remember the exact appearance of those patterns. That was because while those patterns looked simple and ordinary, they were in fact the exquisite creation of the Supreme Elder. They were high-grade immortal runes that only a half-step true immortal could inscribe. What do you want to say about such a low-grade rune? The first elder was dumbfounded on the spot. This was the work of the venerable elder whom he had always respected. In fact, it was the venerable elder's exquisite work of art. However, it had become a low-level rune in Yi-chan's eyes. This made the first elder very unhappy. Fellow Taoist Yi, I understand that young people are arrogant, but don't be too arrogant. Otherwise, you'll be the one to suffer. First elder, don't you believe what I said? Believe? What do you want me to believe from the words of a madman? The first elder revealed a very disdainful expression. He deliberately wanted to embarrass Yi-chan. All right, in that case, I'll show you these patterns. Sure. The first elder stopped in his tracks and pointed to a very complicated pattern. Within this pattern, there were thousands of immortal runes. He thought that as long as Yi-chan could see 10 of them, he would be impressive. That's it. Don't underestimate these patterns. There are countless immortal runes contained within. Even I can only see 300 of them. If you can see 10 of them, I'll let you continue forward. 10? Ha ha ha. Yi-chan laughed maniacally. The majestic power shook the entire secret passageway corridor. Even the stone walls shook. The first elder was shocked once again. This kind of majestic inner energy was too powerful. However, so what if his foundation was strong? If he did not understand runes, he did not understand them. Please. Yi-chan did not look at the pattern at all. Instead, he waved his hand and released nether divine power. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Following that, he opened the demon's eye. The nether divine power that he had released earlier wandered over the pattern. In the blink of an eye, the nether divine power reflected and carried countless information into Yi-chan's demon's eye. Just when the first elder still did not know what was happening, Yi-chan had already analyzed all the rune characteristics of the pattern in front of him. Thud, thud, thud. Yi-chan walked forward. Sigh. Fellow Yi, you've lost the bet. Why are you so flustered and exasperated? Looking at Yi-chan moving forward quickly, he thought that he was going to go back on his words. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, the nether divine light suddenly appeared in front of the first elder and evolved into a light screen. On this nether divine light screen, countless runes appeared. There were more than 1,000 types. Among them, there were at least 3,600 types of runes. They were like strange characters, engraved on the light screen, vivid and lifelike. This. Seeing this scene, the first elder was completely shocked. The person before him was simply a god. How can he have such a profound formation cultivation base at such a young age? He can even analyze so many runes without looking. Is he still human? The first elder felt ashamed of his inferiority. How would he dare to complain to Yi Chun? Thud, thud, thud. He hurriedly followed Yi Chen's footsteps and brought him to the end of the secret passage. There was a stone door here. He chanted an incantation and emitted a mortal power toward a rune on the side of the stone door. The rune flickered, and then the stone door slowly opened. The two of them walked out of the stone door and found a different world. Fellow Yi, the venerable elder is just ahead. All right. Yi Chen looked ahead and saw a vast expanse of whiteness. There was no sign of a person at all. That bunch of old ox-nosed Taoists want to test this emperor? What a joke. Yi Chen's patience had run out. He did not care about these cliches anymore and flew up. Fellow Yi, what are you doing? Seeing Yi Chen's actions, the first elder asked in shock. However, Yi Chen did not respond. Subsequently, a divine sword appeared in his hand. It was the Heavenly Emperor's sword. Could it be? The first elder did not dare to think any further. Chapter 2051. Yi Chun leaped into the air. The Heavenly Emperor's sword in his hand flickered as sword gleam shook the world. Sword Chi soared into the sky and shocked the surroundings. Heavenly Monarch's decree. Earth sword reversal. With a loud bang, the sword slashed out, instantly causing the space to tremble and the terrain to change. Fellow Yi, don't be impulsive. The first elder turned pale with fright. He had a premonition that something big was going to happen. Sure enough, Yi Chen had already made a move. It was clear that this was the result of many probing attempts. Kill! A huge explosion rang out, and the entire mountain fell into chaos. The earth trembled, and dust filled the air. The mist from before had completely disappeared before Yi Chen's eyes. Ha ha, great elder, it seems like you need to rebuild this place. Fellow Taoist Yi, don't joke around. Is that enough? Suddenly, Yi Chen's eyes turned cold, and a gleam appeared in his eyes again. What? The great elder was completely stunned. He wanted to stop it, but it was impossible now. Triple light, slash. Kill, kill, kill. Yi Chen slashed 3 times consecutively. Chaos was shattered, and the entire mountain peak was about to collapse. At this time, rumble. A loud thud was heard as a majestic palm force came from the peak. It covered the sky and suppressed Yi Chen's triple slash sword chi. Ha ha ha. You finally showed yourself? Yi Chen flew down. That was his goal, which was to force the Supreme Elder who was hiding behind the scenes to show himself. At this moment, at the foot of the mountain, a stone door opened, and a person with white hair and a youthful complexion walked out. Amazing, amazing. You're actually able to force me to make a move. As expected of fellow Yi. When this person walked out of the stone door, he did not reprimand Yi Chun for tearing down his house. Instead, he praised Yi Chun. This behavior puzzled Yi Chun. You are the Supreme Elder? That's right. Let's cut the crap and answer my question. Fellow Yi, if you want to know the answer to that question, then follow me. The Venerable Elder made an inviting gesture, and Yi Chun followed him into the stone room within the peak. In the stone room, there were tables, chairs, and benches. There was even a pot of tea on the stone table, as if waiting for the arrival of guests. The 3 of them sat down together. The Venerable Elder poured tea for Yi Chun personally. He was very respectful. The first elder at the side looked very ashamed. Fellow Taoist Yi, we were only able to get to know you because we receive instructions from above. Above again? Who's above you? Yi Chen was rather speechless. These people did not answer his question at all. Instead, they threw out new questions. Fellow Yi, although we are humans, we are their subordinates on the Nether Prison continent. Nether Prison. Yi Chen closed his eyes slightly and used his divine telekinesis to wander around this continent. He wanted to find out where the Nether Purgatory was. The Venerable Elder and the First Elder did not know what Yi Chen was doing. Once they found out, their jaws would definitely drop to the ground. Yi Chen was able to roam the entire continent with his divine telekinesis. No one could have such a powerful mind energy. The reason why Yi Chen was able to do this was because of his shocking mind power. At the same time, it was also because of the Demon Eye's incredible power. In the northeast region of the mainland, he had indeed detected powerful netherworld energy. Furthermore, This netherworld energy was mixed with the shadow of netherworld divine power. It was obvious that someone in this faction had some kind of connection with the netherworld god hall. Fellow Taoist, the Supreme Elder cautiously called out. Yichin opened his eyes and looked at them. I understand about the nether prison. Understand? This time, it was the two of them who were confused. They did not know how Yichin could understand just by closing his eyes. Do you know about the evil spirits? Of course. Fellow Yi personally killed the evil spirit holy envoy and caused a great stir in our nether prison. We are impressed. Yes, Fellow Yi, your name is known by everyone in the nether prison continent. The two elders said at the same time with a smile. All right, I think you should quickly think of a way to deal with the evil spirits. Although the holy envoy was killed this time, they will definitely not let this go. We all understand this. The evil spirits are the most vicious scourge in this continent. The nether prison has already given orders for us to be more vigilant. This time, we brought Fellow Yi here according to the nether prison's instructions. Whose instructions? One of the nether prison's 7 great guardians, Homolii. Naturally, Yichin did not know this person. However, since he was one of the 7 great guardians, he must have received instructions from the upper echelons. Yichin thought about it and felt that since he had provoked the evil spirits this time, they would definitely not let him go. In that case, going to the nether prison and fighting the evil spirits with them was a good choice. It would also be helpful for him to find the temple. Don't worry, I can go to the nether prison and tell them about your contributions. Then we will kill the evil spirits together. Haha, Fellow Yi is indeed a broad-minded person. On behalf of the Flowing Cloud sect, we thank you. The two of them stood up and bowed to Yichin. Get up. I need some bright stones for cultivation. This time, it depends on your performance. Don't worry, we understand that. The Venerable Elder gave the first elder a look. The latter nodded slightly and went to prepare the bright stones. The so-called bright stones were materials used for cultivation in the nether realm. They were similar to the spirit stones of the human world, but these bright stones contained all kinds of energy. There were even supreme-grade bright stones that contained nether divine power. It depended on whether the user could develop it. The two of them drank tea. After a while, the first elder came over with a ring. It was a storage ring. Fellow Yi, these are the bright stones for you. They are all supreme grade and guaranteed to be able to absorb nether divine power. Of course, this depends on your own ability. My ability? Yichin took the storage ring and sneered slightly. Fellow Yi, the amount of bright stones inside is enough for you to cultivate for 3 months. It's enough, the first elder said proudly. Really enough? Of course. Even a peak itinerant immortal would need to absorb these bright stones for a month. Fellow Yi is now at the Mahayana stage. Logically speaking, you should need to absorb and refine them for 3 years. I'm already being very generous by saying 3 months. Suddenly, the atmosphere around them became strange. The Venerable Elder and the first elder looked at Yichin as if wanting to see what he thought of their idea. Or perhaps they wanted to see what ability Yichin had to absorb the bright stones in front of him. Swoosh! Yichin directly threw the ring into the air in front of the two of them. Fellow Yi, what's this? The two of them were puzzled. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The ring floated in midair. Then, Yichin released the 8 gates heavenly disc. Open the door. The 8 gates heavenly disc evolved into the door of opening. Suddenly, a violent vortex gradually formed inside the door of opening. This vortex was none other than the giant mouth of the space-time raging dragon. Roar! Accompanied by the roar of the primordial beast, the two of them were shaken. Then, the ring shattered in the air, and countless bright stones scattered in the air. Chapter 2052. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The luminous stones floated in the air, emitting a rainbow glow. This glow represented that these luminous stones contained powerful underworld energy, and a few of them even had underworld divine power. The higher the grade of the luminous stones, the more wasted they were by ordinary cultivators because they could not absorb the essence of the power within. Only genius cultivators could detect, sense, and absorb this power. The first elder wanted to see if Yi Chun had the talent of a genius. In midair, these bright stones automatically formed an image that looked like an array formation. This image was not formed randomly. Yi Chun had used the 8 gates godly disc to form the most suitable formation for absorption and refinement. The position of each luminous stone was very particular. Even the 2 grand elders did not understand what it meant. Ah, fellow Yi, will such a trick work? Seeing Yi Chen's actions, the first elder thought that he was deliberately showing off his abilities to win the admiration of the 2. However, they were all experienced cultivators. Faced with such methods, they only felt that Yi Chun was playing to the gallery. The first elder is right. Fellow Yi, don't tell me you can't even absorb these luminous stones? The grand elder followed up. His words were not completely sarcastic. According to their experience, even itinerant immortals could not completely absorb these luminous stones, let alone a Mahayana stage like Yi Chun. However, they had chosen the wrong target. Just watch. Yi Chun sneered and released the power of the 8 gates godly disc. The huge vortex began to absorb the luminous stone energy in the air. Due to the previous formation, the power of the luminous stones automatically entered the formation under the powerful suction of the Fury Dragon. Hiss, hiss, hiss. With the support of the formation, the veins were clear. The luminous stone energy was endless, madly entering the formation and then being absorbed by the vortex. The Grand Elder and the First Elder turned pale with fright. Even if they absorbed these luminous stones, they could not be so fast. Yi Chun was still accelerating. Roar! Accompanied by a furious roar, the power of the outer layer of the luminous stones was absorbed. This speed was indescribable. It was a miracle. Following that, something even more terrifying happened because they saw signs of underworld divine power. This can't be real, right? The first elder whispered. Are you blind? The supreme elder angrily rebuked. The great elder didn't dare to make a sound. This is too exaggerated. Not only is he a genius, but he is also a super invincible genius. The venerable elder was about to go crazy. Even the sect leader of the Fleeting Cloud sect could not compare to Yi Chen's talent. It was like comparing a fluorescent light to a bright moon. Boom! At this moment, Ming Shi underwent a shocking change. The underworld deity power had really appeared. Both of them looked at the bright stones at the same time and observed Yi Chun. This was because the nether divine power was the most profound energy in the underworld realm. Only figures of the underworld purgatory and above could control it. Even in the Fleeting Cloud sect, only the venerable elder and sect leader could absorb a little bit of the nether divine power. However, what they saw was an unprecedented scene. The vigorous nether divine power automatically rushed out from the bright stones and merged into Yi Chen's 8 gates divine disc. What is this? The 2 grand elders immediately went crazy. The nether divine power that they had been yearning for had become so easy for Yi Chun. Z. At this moment, the demon's eye reappeared between Yi Chen's brows. Immediately, the nether divine power was summoned by the demon's eye and surged into it. This was the first time the venerable elder and the first elder had seen such a method of absorbing the nether divine power. However, they did not have such an ability. This was the effect of the demon's eye. Ordinary itinerant immortals needed to absorb the bright stone energy for a year and could not absorb it. Now, with the demon's eye, Yi Chun had done it all in half an hour. Moreover, the efficiency was extremely high, and he could even absorb the nether divine power. This result was something the venerable elder and the first elder could not imagine even if they racked their brains. At this moment, the 2 of them looked at Yi Chun and seemed to understand why the people of the underworld purgatory valued Yi Chun so much. This kind of talent was simply nature-defying. Fellow Yi, how do you feel? Very good. After absorbing the bright stone energy, Yi Chun felt that his foundation had soared and reached the peak of the Mahayana stage. Since the matter here has been resolved, Venerable Elder, I want to go to the underworld purgatory immediately. Why the rush? The matter of dealing with the evil spirits cannot be delayed. All right then. The two of them did not want Yi-chan to leave so quickly. Fellow Yi, please put in a good word for our flowing cloud sect in front of the lords of the underworld purgatory. We dare not forget your kindness. Don't worry, you've treated us well. I will. Thank you, thank you. The two elders bowed and thanked Yi-chan. Following that, the venerable elder and the first elder brought all the flowing cloud sect disciples to the square. Everyone, today is the day that fellow Yi leaves. All of us have to pay our respects and respectfully send this senior off. Senior, hearing the first elder use this term, everyone was shocked. Was Yi-chan not a disciple who had just arrived at the flowing cloud sect? Why did even the first elder have to call him senior? Was there any justice in this world? In an instant, there was a lot of discussion. No one knew what was going on. According to past practice, the flowing cloud sect would only gather all the disciples when there was a particularly important matter. This time, it was just to send Yi-chan off? What's wrong with this kid? He's so high profile just because he defeated Lu Su from the outer sect? No way. This person only brought Feng Qing into the sect. Isn't this too exaggerated? Could it be that he has some amazing background? Everyone was discussing, but no one could give an answer. Silence. Hearing the discussion, the first elder scolded angrily. Yes, everyone did not dare to say anything else. They just watched Yi-chan walk on the stage. Ha, it's okay if you don't know. This fellow Yi is someone valued by the Nether Purgatory. It's our honor to have him come to our flowing cloud sect. It's our honor. His strength is far above all of you. Even we are not his match. It's okay to call him senior. At this time, the venerable elder also came up to explain. This time, everyone was really speechless. Even the venerable elder was not Yi-chan's match. To be honest, no one in the flowing cloud sect believed this. They could only believe that Yi-chan's background was too powerful. Therefore, even the venerable elder did not dare to slight him. Is he really that powerful? Suddenly, a cultivator stood up and locked his cold eyes on Yi-chan. Everyone looked over and saw that it was the inner disciple, Lu Yunche. Lu Yunche, don't be rude, the first elder scolded. However, Lu Yunche had no intention of retreating. Instead, he continued to provoke. First elder, you guys are exaggerating. This person's cultivation base is only at the Mahayana stage. I don't think he has the right to be arrogant. That means you have a right? Yi-chan asked. Of course. Lu Yunche's killing intent was awe-inspiring. Chapter 2053. Everyone looked at Yi-chan with a mocking expression. Lu Yunche was a peak itinerant immortal. His cultivation base was far above Lu Su's. When the inner disciples found out about Lu Su, they all thought that he lost to Yi-chan because he was too stupid. Therefore, many elite disciples were dissatisfied with Yi-chan. This time, the venerable elder and the first elder called Yi-chan senior. This was a severe slap to the face of the elite disciples. As the representative of the elite disciples, Lu Yunche was naturally dissatisfied. As for the other disciples, regardless of whether they were elite disciples or ordinary disciples, they found it unbelievable that Yi-chan, who had just entered the flowing cloud sect for less than a day, was able to receive such preferential treatment from the first elder and the venerable elder. No one believed in his abilities. Seeing this scene, the venerable elder felt embarrassed. Senior Yi, this is all because of our flowing cloud sect's poor teaching. Please don't be angry, the venerable elder said. Venerable elder, since you're not good at teaching, let me teach him a lesson myself. How about that? The venerable elder and the first elder's faces contorted. They knew of Yi-chan's strength, and that Lu Yunche was no match for him at all. However, now that Lu Yunche had publicly challenged Yi-chan, if Yi-chan did not respond, it would be as if he was avoiding the challenge. Naturally, this would greatly affect Yi-chan's reputation. They all understood that Yi-chan would not let Lu Yunche go. Yi-chan shouted coldly when he noticed the duo's hesitation. All right, we'll do as Senior Yi says. The two elders could only shake their heads. They could not save Lu Yunche. Whether it was Yi-chan's ability or background, they could not do anything to him. Hearing this, Lu Yunche was overjoyed. Although he did not understand why the first elder and the venerable elder were so afraid of Yi Chun, he would kill Yi Chun in front of everyone and let them see that this brat's ability was not worthy at all. Good. Seeing that Lu Yunche's challenge of Yi Chun was approved by the elders, everyone was very excited. Instantly, the sound of drums on the training field was like thunder, shaking the heavens and the earth. Countless flowing cloud sect disciples came to the square, waiting to watch a battle of life and death. They knew very well that Lu Yunche was a petty person. Seeing Yi Chun receive such preferential treatment, he would not tolerate it. He wanted to eliminate the problem at its roots. What they didn't know was who was the grass and who was the sickle. The two of them flew to the fighting ring. Lu Yunche sneered at Yi Chun with a look of disdain. A mere Mahayana cultivator dares to behave atrociously in my flowing cloud sect? You should know that with your level, you're not even comparable to a cleaner in my sect. Ha. Yi Chun did not respond to Lu Yunche's words. Instead, he laughed maniacally. What are you laughing at? I shouldn't have fought with trash like you, but you have insulted my Sky Cloud Martial School's name. This time, I will make you die without a burial. Are you done with your nonsense? What? If you're done, then die. Damn it. Lu Yunche was enraged, and he instantly attacked. A powerful divine ability, accompanied by vigorous, immortal energy, rushed toward Yi Chun. He wanted to kill Yi Chun with a single strike, not giving Yi Chun any room to escape. Although Yi Chun's strength was lacking, he had been valued by the first elder and the venerable elder. Lu Yunche was a smart man. He would not give Yi Chun a chance to escape to the two of them. Once that happened, he would not be able to kill Yi Chun on the spot. Many flowing cloud sect disciples knew Lu Yunche's character very well, so they were naturally aware of his behavior. In the fighting ring, it seemed like Lu Yunche was enraged by Yi Chun, but in reality, Yi Chun had triggered Lu Yunche's killing intent. He hoped to use his anger to kill Yi Chun directly to reduce his own responsibility. Yi Chun is dead this time. How dare he offend Lu Yunche? That's right. Since he was valued by the venerable elder and the first elder, even if he lost, he could escape from the fighting ring and not die. However, this time, Lu Yunche did not give him any chance to live. He's just an idiot. If he dies, so be it. Everyone was waiting for Yi Chun's death, and they did not care about this outcome at all. Even the lowly outer sect disciples, those who were really the cleaners, looked down on Yi Chun because his strength was too weak. Kill! Lu Yunche slashed with his palm. Instantly, his powerful immortal energy turned into an incomparably sharp hand blade. Sigh, at this moment, the venerable elder and the first elder looked regretful and sighed. Although Lu Yunche was a little proud, he was still a genius disciple of the Flowing Cloud sect. It was a pity that he died here. However, the Flowing Cloud sect disciples did not understand. They thought that the venerable elder and the first elder felt sorry for Yi Chun and thought that Yi Chun would die like them. Clang! Just when everyone thought that there were no surprises, Lu Yunche's fatal handblade was blocked. Moreover, the blade was stopped by Yi Chun's 2 fingers. Hiss. Immortal force continuously emitted a buzzing sound. No matter how hard Lu Yunche swung his hand, the energy could not harm Yi Chun at all. Yi Chun even revealed a faint smile. It was as if he was an adult blocking an attack from a 3-year-old. Everyone was shocked. Almost no one had expected that the peak itinerant immortal genius cultivator, Lu Yunche, would be countered by Yi Chun in the first move. Moreover, Yi Chun did not even use much energy. Many people would never have imagined such a scene in their entire lives, but it was the truth. Many people began to rub their eyes. They thought that they were dreaming. This was not an exaggeration, but they really thought that they were in a dream. However, after rubbing their eyes many times, this was the reality they saw. Lu Yunche, is this all you've got? Yi Chun asked with a cold smile. Impossible. Lu Yunche's rage was boundless. The vital energy and blood in his body surged, and the immortal energy in his meridians flowed wildly. He was like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain or a ferocious wolf pouncing on Yi Chun. Ah! He roared angrily, and the desperate divine power exploded in the air. Flowing blood cloud palm. No. The venerable elder and the first elder shouted for him to stop, but it was useless. This move was easily countered by Yi Chun and even humiliated. This time, Lu Yunche had really lost his mind. He disregarded his foundation and forcefully activated the forbidden divine power just to kill Yi Chun. Oh, facing the sky, full of blood and destructive immortal energy, the entire space was in danger. Yi Chun only glanced at the sky slightly, not at all surprised. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Lu Yunche's strength was so powerful that even an itinerant immortal would be killed on the spot. Yet, how confident did Yi Chun have to be so casual? Countless cultivators felt the explosive, destructive power of Lu Yunche and retreated one after another. Many cultivators even felt fear in their hearts and could not look directly at the scene before them. Chapter 2054. Yi Chun smirked as he looked at Lu Yunche in the sky. Lu Yunche, I'll teach you a lesson today. Yi Chun, you must die today. Bring it on. Yi Chun closed his eyes, completely ignoring Lu Yunche. Everyone's jaws dropped. Who would be so careless when facing an opponent's killer move? Lu Yunche went berserk, howling like a wild beast. Ever since he was born, he had always been surrounded by people. He had never been humiliated like this before. This was the greatest humiliation in his life, and he wanted revenge. He wanted to completely crush this person in front of him. However, he had underestimated his fate. Something even more humiliating was about to happen. Kill. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Rumble. As Lu Yunche unleashed the blood-colored cloud palm, the entire sky fell into endless chaos. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. It was a sign of slaughter, the prelude to death. The terrifying aura turned into a vengeful spirit that devoured everyone's mind. Many mid-level itinerant immortals knelt on the ground, not daring to raise their heads. This was the powerful killing power of the blood-colored cloud palm. In the flowing cloud sect, even peak itinerant immortals would not dare to cultivate such a palm technique. Only Lu Yunche had broken the taboo and cultivated this sure kill ability. Everyone knew very well that using such an ability would consume a lot of energy. It would even consume one's vitality and weaken one's luck. However, Lu Yunche did not care about anything today in order to kill Yi Chun. Slash! The blood-colored blade descended like the sky. Everyone retreated 3 kilometers, not daring to get close to the platform to watch the battle. Such an action was undoubtedly courting death. Sigh. The venerable elder and the first elder both looked uncomfortable. They knew very well that if Lu Yunche did not use such a killer move, they might be able to save his life. However, nothing could be changed now. Lu Yunche had completely angered Yi Chun. However, Yi Chun roared furiously. On the platform, he looked up at the sky and the descending blood-colored ability. He stood like a statue, not dodging at all. This time, everyone's mind was completely shattered. Was he committing suicide or had he lost the will to fight back? However, Yi Chun had caught Lu Yunche's palm energy with just 2 fingers. He did not look like such a weak person. What exactly was he trying to do? No one knew how terrifying the next scene would be. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Behead. Lu Yunche had hoped that the more Yi Chun resisted, the more excited he would be and the more honor he would feel. However, his desire to kill Yi Chun was too strong, and he had already given up on his own honor. He wanted to kill Yi Chun. Therefore, regardless of whether Yi Chun resisted or not, he would kill him. Boom! The gigantic blood-colored saber gleam slashed down with a loud rumble. This time, even the venerable elder and the first elder did not know what Yi Chun was going to do. Why did he not even take the stance of the person who had unleashed the divine power? Clang! Z. The gigantic blood-colored saber first landed directly on Yi Chun's head. Meanwhile, the person under the saber had his hands behind his back and was using his head to take the attack. He used his head to take on such a sure kill, forbidden divine ability. The venerable elder and the first elder were completely dumbfounded. Even they did not dare to take on such a forbidden divine ability directly because such a divine ability would completely melt even a body of steel. Die. To ensure that Yi Chan would die a quick death, Lu Yunche infused his vital energy into the saber. ZZZ. However, the saber could not cut through Yi Chen's head. It was as if it had encountered an unbreakable force and was in a stalemate. What is this? Impossible, impossible. Lu Yunche could clearly see that the saber could not cut through Yi Chen's head. This scene was even more terrifying than seeing a scene from hell. How strong did Yi Chen's body have to be able to take on Lu Yunche's sure-kill divine ability without regard for the taboo? However, with a cold shout, Yi Chen's eyes emitted dark lightning. In an instant, the blood-colored saber shattered in the air. Panga's shadow appeared behind Yi Chen. Holy light illuminated the world, and the golden body was indestructible. Boom! The aura of the holy light shook 3,000 people. Everyone, including the venerable elder and the first elder, were shocked by this supreme divine might and knelt on the ground. This is a god. Yi Chen is a god. Someone could not stop shouting like a madman. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The saber shattered in the air, and the backlash hit Lu Yunche. Puffed. Lu Yunche's body was hit by the backlash. All the meridians in his body were shattered, and his bones were broken. He fell from the sky. Thud. With a dull thud, Lu Yunche fell to the ground like a dead dog. You want to go against heaven with such abilities? Lu Yunche, you're overconfident. Yi Chen walked toward Lu Yunche slowly like a god looking at an ant. You. Lu Yunche looked at Yi Chen with the last of his strength. It was difficult for him to even speak. Blood kept seeping out his mouth. His organs were severely injured, and his meridians were shattered. He looked like a cripple. I heard that I can't even compare to the janitor of your flowing cloud sect. Don't you dare humiliate this genius. I'd rather die than submit. Rather die than submit? Ha ha ha. Yi Chen laughed maniacally. Kill. He struck out with his palm and went straight for Lu Yunche. The two elders revealed a horrified expression. Meanwhile, Lu Yunche was so scared that he wet his pants. Everyone shook their heads when they saw this scene. They did not expect Lu Yunche to rather die than submit to be like this. The Flowing Cloud sect had completely lost face. Rumble. Everyone thought that Lu Yunche was dead for sure. However, when they looked at the battlefield, they realized that Lu Yunche was still alive. However, his face was twisted. Clearly, he was scared out of his wits. Senior Yi, please have mercy. The venerable elder and the first elder came over to plead. It's fine if you don't kill trash like him, but you have to promise me something. What is it? Senior Yi, please tell us. He's already a cripple. Let him sweep for the rest of his life. Everyone was extremely shocked. Yi Chen gave Lu Yunche a chance to live that was worse than death. Lu Yunche's chest tightened, and he fainted. Venerable elder, first elder, did you hear my orders? Yes. We will remember Senior Ye's orders and dare not disobey him at all. Subsequently, the venerable elder sent someone to carry Lu Yunche away. Senior Yi is magnanimous. We are impressed. All the powerhouses and disciples of the Flowing Cloud sect knelt down and worshipped Yi Chen. Remember today's lesson. Yes, we will remember. Yi Chen turned around and left. The venerable elder and the first elder followed him. When they arrived above the clouds, the venerable elder and the first elder walked to Yi Chen with a map. Senior Yi, this is a map to the Nether Purgatory. Please. All right. Yi Chen took the map and flew away. Chapter 2055. According to the map of the Nether Purgatory and his own senses, Yi Chen passed through many realms and entered a realm full of blood and darkness. Here, his sense of the Nether Purgatory suddenly disappeared, which was very strange. According to the map, it was also in this direction, so he did not go the wrong way. There must be some other problems. The deeper he went into this realm, the stranger Yi Chen felt. Everything here seemed to be completely different from the realm he had passed before. This phenomenon made him vigilant. Although the environment here looks natural, There are many traces of human activity. Interesting. Yi Chen sneered and continued to move forward. After walking for a day, he saw a high mountain in front of him. At the foot of the mountain, there was a small town. Seeing that small town, Yi Chen came to the edge of the town. He saw that the town was full of people from the underworld. Some of them were drinking in taverns, some were forging weapons in blacksmiths, some were chatting, and some were performing on the streets. It was a peaceful place. However, such a place was wrapped in a bloody realm. Wasn't it too strange? However, since it appeared in front of him, Yi Chen must walk through it. Yi Chen easily came to the main road of the town, and across the road was a tavern. "Sir, this way, please. You seem to have come from afar. Why don't you come to my small shop to have some snacks and drink to quench your thirst?" A man who looked like a waiter ran over and said to Yi Chen with a smile, "That's a good idea." Yi Chen followed the waiter into the shop and sat in front of a table by the window. At this moment, seeing Yi Chen enter the shop, many people turned to look at him. Many people smiled, but it was a fake smile. At first glance, one could tell that they were not good people. Yi Chen ignored them and waited for a while like an ordinary customer, looking at the scenery outside the window. In fact, there was no scenery outside the window. It was completely a bloody mist. This customer is very calm. Yes, is he a master? Who knows, Many strong men who were drinking began to tease Yi Chen. Everyone's eyes were filled with a sinister look. It was obvious that this was not an ordinary store. Yi Chen could see many details at a glance. This store was newly built. A spell had been used to make the surrounding soil and soil look old, but in Yi Chen's eyes, it was all very clear. Moreover, Yi Chen could already smell a familiar aura from these people. This aura reminded him of the massacre back then. "Sir, the wine and dishes you ordered are here." The waiter walked over with a plate of beast meat and a pot of wine. He was very enthusiastic, but how could Yi Chen hide the coldness in his eyes behind the enthusiasm? "Put it here." "All right, please." The waiter put down the dishes and stood to the side. "Go and do your work." I'm not in a hurry. You are an esteemed guest. I want to serve you alone." "Really?" Yi Chen laughed out loud and poured himself a glass of wine. The waiter stared at Yi Chen as if he really wanted him to drink as soon as possible. Yi Chen scoffed inwardly. "These idiots." He picked up the glass, sniffed it in front of his nose, and smiled. "Waiter, what kind of wine is this?" "This is a top-notch netherworld wine. After drinking it, not only will your body be healthy and everything you eat will taste good, but it can also improve your cultivation base to the next level." "Netherworld wine. It doesn't sound very auspicious." "Of course not. Sir, this is the underworld realm, right?" "That's right, well said." Yi Chen picked up the glass and drank the wine, revealing a satisfied expression. The young man revealed a sinister smile at the same time. The other strong men who were sitting were smiling at Yi Chen at the same time. Yi Chen felt his eyes go blank. Subsequently, he saw double images of the people before him. Why do all of you have clones?" "Sir, you must be drunk, Is that so? Can a glass of wine get me drunk?" Yi Chen stood up and pointed at them while laughing. The strong men stood up one after another and looked at Yi Chen. "It can't be. Is this the Yi Chen who killed the holy messenger? Although he's drugged with a secret evil spirit medicine, rumor has it that this person has a high cultivation base. It can't be like this, right? Who cares? Whoever dares to touch our people will die." Kacha. Everyone flipped the table and took out their evil weapons, pointing them at Yi Chen. Yi Chen was still swaying at the moment, as if he was really drunk. Following that, he spat a mouthful of blood. The cultivators all smirked. Elder Shangwan's poison is really powerful. This time we'll kill him completely." Everyone surrounded Yi Chen, wanting to attack. At that moment, they suddenly realized that the blood Yi Chen spat under their feet was making a sizzling sound. "What's going on?" Many cultivators looked under their feet and realized that the blood was starting to corrode the floor. Subsequently, the entire space shook. Following that, the floor shattered and turned into dust. What they saw was a bottomless abyss under their feet. "What's going on? What's going on?" All the powerhouses were shocked. They looked at Yi Chen again and were surprised to find that Yi Chun did not show any signs of being poisoned. There was not even a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. He was looking at them coldly. Impossible, you're not poisoned? You clearly drank the poison wine. This poison was developed by Elder Shangwan. Anyone who comes into contact with it will die. Many powerhouses looked at Yi Chun in astonishment. They had no idea what was going on. You want to affect me with this bit of poison? What a joke. With a loud bang, Yi Chun's body emitted golden light. It was the ancient god's body. The golden body was indestructible. Even 100 times more poison would be ineffective. All the poison was absorbed by Yi Chun and was released. The dark space under everyone's feet gradually closed. Not only did these cultivators not poison Yi Chun, but they were even poisoned themselves and fell into despair. Evil spirit, why aren't you showing yourself? Yi Chun roared. His voice shook thousands of miles, and the entire town collapsed instantly. The people who were playing various roles in the town were shaken by Yi Chun's energy and revealed their true forms. You know everything. The waiter looked at Yi Chun fiercely. Huh, it seems like you're their leader. Show yourself. Yi Chun spat a sword energy out of his mouth and charged at the evil spirit. Huh. The evil spirit was shocked when it sensed the boundless killing intent. It flew up and revealed its true form. It was an evil spirit with a wolf's head and a human body. Chapter 2056. It's just a small trick. You're too weak to perform in front of me. Yi Chun stood alone in the void and responded forcefully in the face of the evil spirit's attacks. Yi Chun, you're too arrogant. We sent out 3 squads this time. This lineup is only used to deal with peak itinerant immortals. Do you think you have a chance of escaping? The wolf-head evil spirit said with a sneer. Trash, you're about to die, and you still can't see the situation clearly. Are you guys trying to kill me? As soon as he finished speaking, the void shook violently. The abyss was like the mouth of a devil, about to devour many evil spirits. The evil spirits who were very arrogant before now fell into a state of panic. They gathered together, wanting to fight Yi Chun with their collective strength. At this moment, the wolf-head evil spirit bared its teeth and looked at the prey in front of it. Not only did it not poison the other party, but it was even set up by the target. It did not expect such a situation. Even if that's the case, you might have forgotten something. Oh, what is it? It's this bloody fog town. So what? I'm meticulous in everything I do. This bloody fog town looks like a small town, but it's actually a bloody fog formation designed by me and many experts. After saying that, the wolf-head evil spirit's eyes emitted a dark light. Immediately, the blood fog in the entire space condensed. Following that, waves of blood fog turned into 7 evil powers and gathered into various totems, sealing the 7 stars above Yi Chun's head. Oh, I thought it would be boring, but it's finally interesting this time. Facing the bloody fog formation, Yi Chun smirked slightly. It was easy for him to kill these trash, but with this formation, perhaps the game would become more interesting. Do you still think that everything is under your control? Do you still think that you can survive in this game? Do you still think that you're really strong? The wolf-head evil spirit was furious and gave the other evil spirits a look. Immediately, the surrounding evil spirits all moved, releasing their evil weapons and levitating into the air to absorb the power of the 7 evil powers. The leaders of the formation were the 7 experts of the evil spirit assassin group, and they all locked onto Yi Chun. The wolf-head evil spirit was the leader. He stood not far in front of Yi Chun, and the wolf bone saber in his hand was still oozing blood. It was extremely terrifying, as if he had just killed someone. Kill! Roar, roar, roar. Many evil spirits flew out with evil weapons imbued with evil energy in their hands, wanting to kill Yi Chun in one fell swoop. Zzz. Just as they flew up and were about to slash at Yi Chun, time and space suddenly froze. Many evil spirit cultivators froze in midair, just like that. Even their expressions were stunned. This scene caused the wolf-head evil spirit to turn pale with fright. How could it have imagined that Yi Chun's strength was so powerful and his divine abilities were strange and unpredictable. He did not even have the ability to speak. He stood before Yi Chun like a statue. Yi Chun walked over slowly. He lifted his fingers slightly as he looked at the statue that had a horrified expression on its face. Clang! He lightly tapped the space between the wolf head evil spirit's eyebrows. Immediately, a crisp sound rang out. Then, under everyone's incredulous gazes, the space between the wolf head evil spirit's eyebrows split open. Like a real statue, it collapsed and turned into dust. Many evil spirits should have screamed at the sight of such a terrifying scene, but they were restricted by the ancient god space, and they couldn't even move their eyes. They could only watch helplessly as the wolf head evil spirit turned into dust and fell to the ground. They were powerless. A bunch of trash dares to block this emperor's path? All of you can die. Yi Chun's eyes flashed with killing intent. Suddenly, space distorted, and all the evil spirits were like statues that had been hit by a heavy hammer. They shattered one after another and vanished into thin air. Subsequently, Yi Chun went straight forward. The entire blood mist formation could not stop his footsteps at all. It was as if he was walking on clouds. Even the blood mist in front of him became a snack of the space wrath and was completely devoured. 9 transformations of the true spirit. Yi Chun directly transformed into the wolf head evil spirit and rushed forward. Relying on his evil power, Yi Chun sensed that there were still evil spirit experts in a secret cave thousands of miles away. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yi Chun activated the space rule and leaped forward. Soon, he arrived outside the evil spirit's secret cave. When he killed the wolf head evil spirit, he had already used the soul extraction tactic to retrieve all of its memories. Walking outside the secret cave, Yi Chun threw out a jade pendant. It was the evil spirit jade pendant. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The jade pendant and a mark at the entrance of the cave reflected each other, and the door of the evil spirit's secret cave slowly opened. You're back. How's Yi Chun? A voice came from inside the secret cave. Although this person is strong in the blood mist formation, coupled with Elder Shangwan's poisonous wine, he'll definitely die. You killed him with your own hands? Of course, this is his head. Yi Chun said as he threw out a head. This head was modified by Yi Chun using his own blood. Ordinary people could not see through it at all. Ha ha, very good. In the darkness, a person walked out. It was also a wolf head evil spirit, and this person was closely related to the evil spirit that Yi Chun was disguised as. Big brother, are you still worried about me? You did well, little brother. It turned out that the wolf head evil spirit in the secret cave was the older brother of the wolf head evil spirit who carried out the assassination plan. The younger brother's name was Ka Ba, and the older brother's name was Baka. Ka Ba, this time, I'll take credit for you in front of Elder Shangwan. Thank you, big brother. This time, our family will definitely rise. That's for sure. Your assassination skills are getting better. I hope to bring you back to our headquarters in the Nether Purgatory to meet Elder Shangwan. That's great. I've been wanting to meet the Elder for a long time. I want to let him know what I'm capable of. Don't worry, I'll bring you there tomorrow. Thank you, big brother. The two nodded at each other and then rested in the secret cave. That night, Yi Chun carefully read through Ka Ba's various memories, familiarizing himself with this person's position among the evil spirits, as well as all the information he knew about the evil spirits. In this way, Yi Chun could be said to know himself as well as his enemy. Ka Ba's position among the evil spirits was not high. One could even say that he was a very low-level existence. This was because among the evil spirits, only those who did not have enough talent or were born into an extremely low position would become an assassin. The Ka Ba that Yi Chun impersonated was very talented, but he was born into a low position. Therefore, he hoped to rely on his own efforts to achieve success, so that his family could raise their heads among the evil spirits. The next morning, Ka Ba woke Yi Chun up. Ka Ba, let's go. Yes, big brother. Yi Chun nodded slightly. This time, he wanted to see for himself how the evil spirits operated in the Nether Purgatory. The two walked out of the secret cave. Ka Ba released a spirit boat, and the two jumped on it and flew out. Chapter 2057. Under Baka's control, Yi Chun and Baka arrived at a secret place on the spirit boat. This area was surrounded by countless ring-shaped mountains. Countless towering ancient trees formed a natural barrier that blocked entry. Moreover, these ancient trees were infused with some kind of evil energy. This energy made the ancient trees look natural from the outside, but in reality, it was futile to try to read the information within. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The spirit boat stopped outside the ring-shaped mountains. Then, Baka released his evil energy toward the ring-shaped mountains. Following that, the ring-shaped mountains reflected the evil energy. When the two met, a portal appeared in the ring-shaped mountains. Whoosh! The spirit boat suddenly accelerated and flew into the ring-shaped mountains. Entering the ring-shaped mountains, Yi Chen's horizons were broadened. This was a small kingdom. There were all kinds of tall buildings, training grounds, and various cultivation grounds. There were even various tribes, allowing the different tribes of the evil spirit tribe to live here. This was only the headquarters in the underworld purgatory. Yi Chen did not know how many there were in the underworld realm. This showed that the evil spirit tribe's strength had infiltrated every region of the underworld realm. It was extremely difficult to eradicate them. In the square, many evil spirit warriors were constantly fighting. Yi Chen saw that these battles were not training, but real battles. There were many casualties. This was the training method of the evil spirit tribe, real life and death battles. It was not difficult to understand that when Yi Chen was planning to eradicate the evil spirit saint, these evil spirit warriors were fierce in a life and death battle. The spirit boat landed on a huge rock. Then, Baka brought Yi Chen into a hall. Walk faster. Yes, big brother. Yi Chen looked around. All kinds of information turned into images and were stored in his mind, ready to be used at any time. After entering the hall, Yi Chen followed behind Baka and walked toward the holy road ahead. On this road, Yi Chen could feel powerful, evil energy spreading like a giant python. The two of them were walking on the back of this giant python. If the giant python rolled over, it would swallow them. This feeling was extremely strong. Yi Chen looked down, and in the demon's eye, he saw twisting bodies. Interesting. Seeing such a scene, ordinary people would be scared to death. However, in Yi Chen's eyes, it was just an interesting thing to do while walking. At the end of the holy road, there was a throne. On it sat an extremely strange, evil spirit. This person was wearing a long black robe and had 2 antlers on his head. He was currently reading a scripture. Elder Shangwan, we brothers are here to report our work. Bakar stepped forward and bowed. Elder Shangwan nodded slightly and continued to read the scripture. The two of them could only stand on the spot. Bakar was fine with it, but Yi Chen could not stand it. Was a heavenly emperor going to be this old man's servant? Elder Shangwan, we brothers are here to report to you. Yi Chen shouted. Crack! Bakar was shocked when he heard that. He never thought that his brother would do something so outrageous. The one in front of him was Elder Shangwan, an important apothecary of the Dark Spirit clan. He had the power to execute Dark Spirit warriors at will, and it was a great honor for the two of them to stand here. He did not expect Bakar to shout at him. Oh! Elder Shangwan turned to look at Kaba when he heard the voice. All of a sudden, an invisible pressure bit toward Yi Chen like a venomous snake. That aura was about to devour Yi Chen and crush his soul completely. Even a peak itinerant immortal would go crazy on the spot under such a psyche attack and kowtow 10,000 times. However, when the force approached Yi Chen, it suddenly disappeared. Yes, the extremely powerful psychic energy disappeared before Yi Chen's eyes. Bakar did not even know what happened. Elder Shangwan looked at Kaba and revealed a strange smile. What's your name? You have great potential. My name is Bakar, an evil spirit warrior and an envoy. Haha, very good, very good. An ordinary person would have been a dead body after receiving the attack, but this evil spirit warrior had withstood it. This surprised Elder Shangwan. At the same time, he was very happy that he finally had a talent that he could use. You may leave. Elder Shangwan, my brother. It's just a moment. I said leave. Ah, yes. Bakar looked at Bakar helplessly. He knew very well that those who challenged Elder Shangwan's authority, no matter what rank they were, whether they were evil spirit generals, evil spirit warriors, or even ordinary envoys, would die here. Brother, big brother, it's fine. You may leave now. Sigh. Bakar had no choice but to leave the hall. He thought that Bakar would die. However, he did not know that Elder Shangwan had already given Yi Chun an important task. Bakar, how did you resist my psychic energy attack? What psychic energy attack? Elder Shangwan, are you kidding me? Huh? Yi Chen's words stunned Elder Shangwan. He had never thought that there would be such a strange creature among the evil spirits. In the world of evil spirits, no one could treat a highly respected elder like this. Elder Shangwan was also an apothecary and had a high status among the evil spirits. However, this young man before him had a frivolous attitude. This surprised Elder Shangwan and made him curious at the same time. He was even more curious about how Yi Chun had resisted the attack and survived. This was a very important question. However, Yi Chun's response was as if nothing had happened. This made Elder Shangwan frown as he locked his eyes on Yi Chun. He stood up and threw the scripture in his hand away. His attention was completely on Yi Chun. What kind of person are you? How is that possible? He still could not figure out how Yi Chun had resisted the psychic energy attack. He had to figure it out. Otherwise, he would not be interested in doing anything else. He took a good look at Yi Chun. However, Yi Chun's true Spirit 9 transformation and evil energy surrounded him. Even Elder Shangwan could not tell anything. He had perfectly replicated Bakar's memories and abilities. However, in terms of personality, he was completely different from Bakar. Even if he risked being exposed, Yi Chun would not do anything that would hurt his dignity. Ha ha ha, think about it. What happened just now? Elder Shangwan, I don't want to repeat myself. Nothing happened just now. Elder Shangwan's eyes turned cold when he heard such a response. He released his powerful psychic energy again to test Yi Chun. To be continued. Chapter 2058. The powerful mind power was like a venomous python opening its bloody mouth. It was released toward Yi Chen's eyes. This was the most impactful part. Elder Shangwan wanted to see how the kid before him did it. Hiss. The powerful impact frantically invaded Yi Chen's mind, trying to break through his mental defense. However, Yi Chun seemed unaffected. He stood before Elder Shangwan with a puzzled expression as if asking, "What are you doing, old man?" Elder Shangwan was shocked. His mind power was a famous killing weapon, but it was useless before Yi Chun. How was that possible? He could not understand what he was seeing, but he could not see what method Yi Chun had used to resolve the mind power. He had to think of another way. Otherwise, there would be no solution. Is there something wrong with this kid's head? He can't accept my mind power, and this flaw is protecting him? As someone who had lived in the Jianghu for thousands of years, Elder Shangwan naturally had strong judgment. This was the best explanation he could come up with. With Yi Chen's cultivation base and foundation, it was impossible for him to resist his psychic attack. In his eyes, Yi Chun was a peak itinerant immortal. However, if he knew that Yi Chun was only a Mahayana, his jaw would drop. It was not that Yi Chun had a problem with his head and did not accept his mind power. It was because these mind power were no problem against ordinary peak itinerant immortals, but they were nothing against the demon eye. These energies had been absorbed by the demon eye and devoured by the origin of darkness. Then they were refined in the ancient god space, becoming nourishment for Yi Chen's mind power cultivation. The best way to cultivate mind power was to extract various mind power attacks in this universe, then analyze and refine them to make one's mind as solid as gold. Ordinary people did not have such a cultivation environment. However, Yi Chen's body had gathered all kinds of powerful energies. There were demonic energy, ancient god power, immortal power, evil energy, and even various psionic powers. These energies circulated in Yi Chen's body in a complicated manner and could easily produce powerful chaotic impacts. Ordinary people would have gone mad, but Yi Chen had been suffering tremendous mental pain. until he entered the ancient god cosmic sea and found the celestial star to cultivate the celestial soul cultivation method. The first sky soul refining technique was one of the strongest soul refining techniques of the ancient gods. It could refine almost all kinds of spiritual energy in this world. This was the most basic cultivation technique for cultivating spiritual energy. In the end, Elder Shangwan failed to figure out Yi Chen's secret. He could only assume that Yi Chen's unique physique happened to offset the spiritual impact. Kaba, I've decided to keep you by my side as my apprentice. What do you think? That's great. Thank you, Elder Shangwan. Yi Chen knew that this was his chance. If he became this old man's apprentice, not only could he continue to study the various spells and martial arts of the evil spirits, but he could also raise his status and become a popular figure in the Nether Prison headquarters. Why not? Ha! You're a lot smarter this time. I've read a scripture over here. Study it carefully. It'll be useful. Thank you, Elder. Yi Chen took the scripture book that Elder Shangwan was studying earlier. He was slightly shocked when he read the content on the scripture tree. The scripture looked simple and there was nothing special about it. However, the content was about mind control. What was the elder trying to do by letting him read such a scripture? Yi Chen flipped through a few pages quickly. The content that he saw was even more mysterious and cruel. Kaba, I'm going to create a type of mind control ability. You'll be my best helper. I'm at your service. That's great. Remember, study the content that I've marked for you. It's the key to becoming my helper. Yes, this Imperial token is a symbol of your identity. Take it. I'll send you a large amount of cultivation resources as a reward. Thank you, Elder. Yi Chen bowed slightly and left with the scripture book. When he walked out of the door, he saw Kaba discussing with a group of evil spirit powerhouses. They looked helpless, and many were comforting Kaba. Yi Chen understood that they thought he was dead for sure. Big brother, Kaba. Seeing Kaba walking out, Bakar was stunned once again. Anyone who dared to challenge Elder Shangwan's authority would never walk out of the Elder's palace alive. Any evil spirit would understand this principle. However, the person in front of him was his little brother, Kaba. What was going on? Did the Elder make an exception? There was no reason for this. TSK. Seeing Kaba walk out of the Elder's hall, many dark spirit combatants looked at him with disdain. They thought that was Kaba's trick to make fun of them because they knew very well what would happen if they angered the Elder. Yi Chen walked out of the Elder's hall, which meant that he did not anger the Elder. He might even be rewarded by the Elder because no one could stay alone with the Elder for such a long time unless the Elder valued them. Listen to me. I'm telling the truth. Don't spout nonsense. We're not in the mood to listen. That's right, Bakar. You piece of trash. You should go back and work as a laborer. Yes. Ha ha ha. The few dark spirit combatants began to mock and curse at Bakar. Yi Chen looked at them coldly. After all, he was Bakar's younger brother. He had to do something like this. You idiots. Do you know what you're doing? Yi Chen flew to the path that the few people were about to take. He looked at them coldly with a murderous aura. TSK, do you really think you're someone important? I'm giving you face. Although you brothers are messengers, you're the lowest level messengers. You're just a piece of trash who reports from the battlefield. You want to be so arrogant in front of us? You better kneel and apologize to me right now. Otherwise, you'll be killed. The few combatants were all peak bodiless immortals. It was obvious that some of them were close to becoming a true immortal, so they were very disdainful of the Kaba brothers. However, they had found the wrong target. No matter who they were, there was only one consequence for provoking the Heavenly Emperor, death. That's right. Kneel and apologize to me right now. Otherwise, you'll be killed. The same words came back to them. A murderous aura appeared on the combatants' faces. At the same time, they frowned and locked their eyes on Yi Chen. Clearly, they were completely enraged. Don't fight. Kaba, come back here. Scram, you bastard. Seeing that Bakar wanted to stop them, one of the combatants kicked him away. To be continued. Chapter 2059. You're courting death. That powerhouse stared at Yi Chen coldly. Clearly, he wanted to kill him. After all, the Kaba brothers' status in this place was actually quite low. They were not much different from slaves and low-level warriors. Therefore, as long as they were warriors, they could order them around. Now, this powerhouse valued this. Then, when he saw Ka-Ba walking out of the Elder's Hall, he was a little jealous, so he wanted to take revenge. Ka-Ba wanted to stop Yi-chun. How could it be possible? Who was Yi-chun? Facing a group of ants. How could he tolerate it? Ka-Ba, it seems like your brother doesn't understand the cruelty of war. Let's teach him a lesson and let him understand that in this place, you're just two dogs. Ha. That's right. Two dogs want to climb up to Elder Shangwan. What a joke. Kill them. Many powerhouses laughed out loud. Their words were fierce and murderous. They wanted the Ka-Ba brothers to kneel and admit their mistakes. I'll give you a chance to live. Kneel and admit your mistakes immediately. Count out 10,000 times, and I'll give you a chance to make a contribution. Ants, how dare you go against the heavens? Yi-chun's eyes emitted a cold light. In an instant, a powerful aura swept through the entire place. One look was enough to kill. Slash. However, there was a slicing sound as the sword energy pierced through the throat. The powerhouse who had been the loudest froze. What's going on? Crooked. The other powerhouses did not know what had happened to that powerhouse and tried to wake him up. However, it was useless. That powerhouse's body stood stiffly without any response. Many evil spirits realized that something was wrong and went up to check. An evil spirit powerhouse used his hand to lightly pat that powerhouse's face. Gulyalu. Following that, with a crisp sound, a round object fell to the ground. Everyone looked over and saw that it was that powerhouse's head. Everyone trembled and looked at Yi-chun. However, they did not think that it could be Yi-chun who did it. He did not have this ability. The Ka-Ba brothers' cultivation base was definitely not something to be proud of here. Therefore, they could only do the work of gathering information, which was why they were looked down upon by these people. Now that they said that Yi-chun had killed that powerhouse without anyone noticing, who would believe it? Ka-Ba did not believe it either. He hurried to Ka-Ba's side and whispered, I don't know how this person died. Let's go. Leave? Big brother, aren't you too submissive? Ka-Ba, don't try to be brave. Us two brothers can survive here. We can't make enemies. Ha. Making enemies? Do you think these ants are worthy of being my enemies? Ridiculous. Yi-chun walked forward, ignoring Bakar who was trying to stop him. Sigh. Baka had no choice but to pray that nothing would happen to Ka-Ba. At this moment, the other combatants locked their eyes on Yi-chun. They did not know how that person had died, but they thought that Yi-chun had angered some kind of curse. Ka-Ba, you curse him to death. Ha. You want to pin a crime on me, right? Forget it. You idiots can't find a good reason anyway. Why don't I tell you that I killed this person? You killed him? Ha. Everyone burst into laughter again, and they all revealed looks of disdain. Ka-Ba, it's not that we look down on you, but even if there were 100 of you, you wouldn't be a match for him. Yes, but this person died in front of you, so you have to take responsibility, so you have to pay with your life. A bunch of idiots. Since you want to see it clearly, I'll show you in slow motion. Yi-chun slowly raised his fingers and pointed his sword at a powerhouse. Ha, what is this brat doing? Does he think he can kill me with a few fingers? Ha. Everyone laughed and looked at the two of them. Rumble. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook. There was no sun nor light, and everything was dark and chaotic. What's going on? While everyone was shocked, they saw powerful evil energy appear on Yi-chun's fingers. Sword chi shot into the sky. Tethys. At this moment, they finally felt Yi-chun's powerful foundation because the sword chi would not lie. Even a peak bodiless immortal could release the power of the sword chi. Impossible. Many combatants were in disbelief, including Bakar. He was clearly shocked to see how powerful his brother was. Ka-Ba, who are you? Big brother, don't talk anymore. If these pieces of trash want to die, then kill them all. Yi-chun looked at the dozens of combatants and smirked slightly. Those people were now stunned. They released their powers one after another, wanting to rely on their collective strength to resist Yi-chun. However, it was all in vain. Yi-chun's sword chi soared into the sky, shocking even ghosts and gods. The demon's eye between his brows flashed, and a soaring force descended with a loud rumble. Rumble! The vast sword shape was like a pillar of heaven and earth. It suddenly descended, and no one could stop it. Following that, the huge sword chi instantly crushed everything, and the dozens of bodiless, immortal combatants died. Such a huge shock attracted countless combatants to look over. They saw that Ka-Ba had killed so many bodiless, immortal combatants with his own strength. This made them discuss among themselves, not knowing what had happened. At this moment, a person stood on the lighthouse of the Elder's Palace. It was Elder Shangwan. This kid is extraordinary indeed. It seems like he hid his strength well. He's indeed a genius among the evil spirits to have such strength. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. In the square, those who had looked down on Ka-Ba and his brothers before were now in awe, especially Yichun. Many combatants were so scared that their legs turned to jelly when they saw his eyes. He had killed dozens of bodiless, immortal combatants with a single sword strike. What kind of strength was that? It was not an exaggeration to say that he could become an evil spirit holy envoy or even an elder. Ka-Ba is invincible. Ka-Ba is amazing. Yes, Ka-Ba and his brothers are our role models. Those who had followed those combatants and mocked Ka-Ba and his brothers started to clamor. They did not want Ka-Ba to target them. Yichun was naturally not interested in these pieces of trash as long as they did not block his way. Big brother, let's go. All right. Baka was dumbfounded. Since when had his younger brother become so powerful? It was completely beyond his imagination. Stop right there. Just when Yichun was about to leave with Baka, a cold shout was heard. Oh no! Baka's heart skipped a beat because he could tell that the shout came from one of the 6 commanders of the army's front line, the Demon Slayer. Yichun stopped in his tracks and looked to his side from the corner of his eyes. At this moment, a tall man carrying a huge broadsword walked forward. Great, it's Lord Demon Slayer. With him here, we're not afraid. Kill this kid and avenge the army's warriors. Countless mocking voices sounded again, all of them targeting Yichun. Thud, thud, thud. With every step he took, the ground shook. The might of the Demon Slayer swept through the entire place. Chapter 2060. You killed someone from my army, and you want to leave just like that? Hee. Do you think that's possible? The Demon Slayer's rough voice sounded like it was ground out. It was very rough, but every word was filled with power. Just his voice alone could send chills down one's spine. A lion killing a few ants is enough to make you, the leader of the ants, uncomfortable? Are you going to be like them? Yichun turned around and sneered as he replied forcefully. Everyone present was shocked. The person before them was one of the top 10 commanders, the Demon Slayer. He was a half-step true immortal and was completely different from ordinary itinerant immortals. Such a person could kill hundreds or thousands of itinerant immortals with a wave of his hand. Who would have thought that Yichun would dare to speak to him like that? Everyone was not the only one who did not expect this. The Demon Slayer did not expect this either. He looked at Yichun coldly, wanting to see what was so different about this person that he dared to speak to him like that. Ka-Ba, don't talk nonsense. Apologize now. Baka came over and pulled Yichun to apologize to the Demon Slayer. Big brother, have you been a servant for too long that you don't know how to behave? Baka froze on the spot. He did not understand what was wrong with Ka-Ba today. Scram, leave everything to me. Yichun lightly slapped him. Baka's body flew to the side uncontrollably. He could not resist at all. Do you know who I am? The Demon Slayer asked. I know. You're just a weakling. The Demon Slayer laughed out loud. He did not expect that he, the Demon Slayer, would be called a weakling by a Mahayana trash. If he did not give an explanation today, he would not be able to stay in the army anymore. Very good. You have such courage. I hope that when you die, you'll have the same courage. Yeah, I'll say the same to you. Yichun smirked slightly. He looked at the powerful enemy before him and did not care at all. Demon Slash, 7 kills. The Demon Slash's power soared, and the entire sky turned dark. Normally, the Demon Slayer would not use such an aura. However, his dignity had been completely offended by Yichun today. He could only regain his dignity by unleashing his most powerful attack and unleashing his most powerful aura. Otherwise, he would become the joke of the evil spirit army. Who would have thought that a mere Mahayana realm cultivator would be able to force Lord Demon Slayer to use such an ultimate move? Demon Slayer 7 Murders is Lord Demon Slayer's famous ultimate move. No one can resist it. That's right. Even a pinnacle bodiless immortal would have to bow down to this move, let alone a Mahayana realm cultivator. Lord Demon Slayer is truly enraged this time around. For this kid to die to this move is a blessing. Many evil spirits looked up at the sky, admiring the powerful aura released by Demon Slayer. The darkness energy that filled the sky was like a primordial beast that could devour the sun and moon, slaying everything. Boom! The demon executioner guided the waves of power of annihilation to descend from the sky like a tornado. How is it? Dying under such an imposing aura. Are you satisfied? Form but no substance. Useless. However, a sneer was heard. In Yi Chen's eyes, such an imposing manner was merely a useless move in name. Ha. Your mouth is really tough, but I hope that you will still have the strength to speak after a while. Come on. Yi Chen stood with his hands behind his back. There was no difference between facing the Demon Slayer and facing the army warriors. This was because these people had suffered the same tragedy before him. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Behind him, Yi Chen raised his sword finger slightly, and waves of pure divine power slowly condensed on the sword finger. Demon Slayer roared angrily, and sword chi took form. The huge dark sword turned into a ferocious tiger that charged down to devour Yi Chen. Evil heavenly Dharch. Mortal sword revolution. Whoosh! A beam of light flashed on the battlefield. No one could see what it was, but wherever the light passed, everything returned to nothingness. Rumble. Following that, the incomparably huge dark sword descended, and the battlefield instantly turned into chaos. Everything turned into a bloody mist, and nothing could be seen. Many powerhouses wanted to sense the information within, but under the impact of the extreme energy, they did not have the ability to do so. This battle immediately attracted the attention of many powerhouses. Among them, many super powerhouses in the army command were looking at this battlefield. Impossible. This person is only at the Mahayana stage. How can he be so powerful? Did you see that sword just now? The sword path is treacherous, and its speed is so fast that even peak itinerant immortals can't see it clearly. This person's strength is at least at the perfected immortal level. When did the evil spirit army have such a genius? The 3 supreme commanders all looked at the battlefield with shocked expressions. They were the 3 leaders of the evil spirit army. All of them were at the true immortal level. On the battlefield, smoke lingered. Everyone was nervous, wanting to see the result, but when the smoke dispersed, everyone saw the most terrifying result. A person stood alone on the battlefield, dragging a head in his hand. He was like a ghost that had descended to the world, shocking the world. It's Kaba. Kaba really won. He actually killed one of the 6 supreme commanders, Demon Slayer. He's too powerful. Everyone was excited. In the land of evil spirits, the strong were respected. No matter what Kaba's previous identity or status was, he was now the absolute powerhouse in everyone's hearts. Yi Chen threw the head away as if he was throwing away a bag of trash, his expression unchanging. As a heavenly Dharch, who knew how many times he had seen such a scene, how could his mind be shaken? Clatter, clatter, clatter. He walked down the battlefield, but just as he was halfway there, an incomparably powerful true immortal might descended on his head. This pressure was so great that Yi Chen's feet sank 3 feet into the ground. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The ground shattered and energy exploded. Everyone was shocked by this aura. It can't be. Even the supreme powerhouses from the headquarters are here. Someone shouted in disbelief. At this moment, one of the 3 leaders, Job Allen, arrived on the battlefield. Brat, the headquarters is interested in you. Are you willing to come? The headquarters? You can come, but not today. Do you have a choice? No one can stop me wherever I go. You're courting death. Just when Job Allen was about to attack, Yichen suddenly raised his left hand high. There was an imperial order in his hand. What? Job Allen frowned slightly when he saw the imperial order. It was the imperial order issued by the great elder of evil spirits, Shangwan. Only his trusted aides could obtain it. This? What is this? Do you know what this imperial order symbolizes? Get lost. You. Job Allen was about to explode, but he held it in because the highest position in this headquarters was not the three leaders, but Elder Shangwan. Huh. Yichen scoffed and left the battlefield with Baka. Chapter 2061. Yichen became famous after the battle. It was hard for a person who dared to kill the army's commander and humiliate the three leaders. This man is too arrogant. How dare he speak to the three leaders like that? So what? He's Elder Shangwan's man. Who dares to offend him? No wonder he's so powerful and fearless. Everyone looked at Yi Chen in awe. He was indeed powerful to have such a powerful ability and be valued by Elder Shangwan. After returning to his residence, Bakar looked at Yi Chen in a different light. He did not expect his brother to be so powerful. Bakar, when did you become so powerful? I've always been powerful. That's impossible. I didn't realize you were so powerful before. That's because I'm carrying out Elder Shangwan's secret order. Do you think it's a coincidence that he spared me? Huh, I see. Bakar looked like he came to a sudden realization. Clearly, Yi Chen had fooled him. A while later, someone came to Yi Chen and arranged his own residence. He had been staying with Bakar before. Brother, no one will bully you anymore. Remember to tell them my name. Sure. Bakar replied loudly. Yi Chen left with the messenger and returned to his residence. It was a quiet place like a villa in the headquarters. It was obvious that Yi Chen's current position was very high. In the headquarters, Jabrin came back angrily. Ha. You didn't expect this, did you? Jabrin, you'll be defeated by this brat. You're going to become a true immortal. You've embarrassed yourself. The other two leaders, Fife and Berenk, said with a smile. You two bastards, watch out. Job Allen was shouting at the two of them in a fit of anger. Who is this guy? Why didn't I notice him before? Huh, he's Elder Shangwan's man. Why would you notice him? If it weren't for the Demon Slayer, I don't think anyone would know that he's so powerful. Forget it. Since he's Elder Shangwan's man, we have no right to question him. However, we still have to watch out for him. I have a feeling that he's not ordinary. The three leaders discussed among themselves. They still had their guards up against Yi Chen. Subsequently, the three of them opened a bottle of wine each. The orders from above have come down. They want us to quickly take over the Nether Prison main road. Fekta's expression turned serious as he spoke. The strongest power in Nether Prison is still Nether Prison. However, if we want to take down Nether Prison, we must take down Flowing Cloud Sect. The Sky Cloud Martial School is just a small martial school. I don't think we should waste any more time. All right, we're sure. We'll attack within 3 days. Should I inform Elder Shangwan? Humph. This is a direct order from our army headquarters. Do we need to inform him? The three looked at each other and sneered at the same time. In his residence, Yi Chen observed his surroundings and sensed a large amount of dark energy. Why is there so much evil energy in this place? As he walked, he realized that there was a powerful force surging under his feet. Yi Chen could not help but feel suspicious. Is there something wrong with the underground? That was the only answer. Yi Chen activated the demon's eye and instantly saw through the ground. He discovered that there was a vast underground base below. Upon closer inspection, he found that there were many humans and Nether tribe imprisoned in this underground base. They were all fixed in a huge crystal container. The surrounding evil energy was constantly eroding their bodies and minds. Many people could not resist such erosion, and their eyes changed form as if they were under some kind of control. This is human experimentation. This was a big secret. Yi Chen did not expect that the independent residence that he was brought to was right above this laboratory. Although the laboratory was dozens of kilometers away from the surface, Yi Chen's demons' eye was too powerful. He could see it clearly at a glance. These be asterisk stars. How dare they conduct human experiments? I won't let them get what they want. Yi Chen knelt on one knee and placed his hand on the ground. Ah! With a cold shout, Yi Chun released the power of the darkness pool and quickly extended it downward. Soon, this power reached the bottom. Yi Chun's body changed form and merged with the darkness pool, directly penetrating the bottom. Clack, clack, clack. In the underground laboratory, many evil spirit warriors were busy moving all kinds of spirit stones. These spirit stones are going to a huge energy-gathering device. Yi Chun smirked when he saw many spirit stones being thrown into the energy-gathering device. So many pure spirit stones are being wasted by you. Why don't you let me do it? Yi Chun flew into the room where the huge energy-gathering device was and observed the device before him. He found that this device was very effective in purifying energy. More importantly, it gathered too much super strong energy in the center. This energy was the core, driving force of the entire experiment. Who is it? Suddenly, a group of evil spirit warriors and experimenters rushed into the device hall and shouted at Yi Chun. The person who killed you. Yi Chun's eyes narrowed. A cold light flashed, and the evil spirit warriors and evil spirit experimenters were beheaded in the air. 9 transformations of the true spirit, psionic illusion. Countless psionic energy was released and surrounded the device hall. Suddenly, everything in front of Yi Chun turned into an illusion. All kinds of evil spirit warriors were still working. The people outside could not see anything unusual at all. In fact, all the evil spirit warriors and evil spirit experimenters had been killed by Yi Chun. Yi Chun flew into the air above the device and released the space-time fury, frantically absorbing the pure evil energy in the device. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The endless evil energy was swallowed by the fury and was refined by the 8 gates disc and the ancient god space. It quickly became Yi Chun's own super strong energy. The evil energy is really powerful. Yi Chun absorbed all the pure evil energy in the device. Yi Chun felt his evil energy foundation soar. The various energies in his body began to clash with each other. This was inevitable. This energy was enough to tear a peak itinerant immortal's body apart. If not for the ancient god space, Yi Chun would not have been able to withstand it. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Various colored lightning appeared all over Yi Chun's body. These lightning were the symbols of the various elemental energies. Yi Chun mobilized the ancient god power in his body and forcibly suppressed the various elemental energies to calm his body. However, he had deeply realized that his foundation had exceeded the tolerance of the heavenly Tao. If he did not go through the ascension immediately, he would definitely suffer the backlash of the heavenly Tao. Go! After absorbing the super strong evil energy, Yi Chun transformed into the form of one of the evil spirit warriors and walked out. Chapter 2062. After walking out of the installation hall, Yi Chun was stopped within 10 steps. How's the energy gathering device? A tall, dark energy warrior asked Yi Chun. Everything's fine, Yi Chun said with a smile. Go to the test subjects immediately. Yes. Yi Chun nodded slightly and left quickly toward the Real laboratory. It was also the main control laboratory that he saw through the demon eye. Walking into the underground test hall, Yi Chun saw countless crystal coffins embedded in the mountain walls. There were all kinds of pipes on them, constantly supplying all kinds of liquids and dark energy. Many of the crystal coffins contained human cultivators, and many of them even had the seal of the Flowing Cloud sect. Has the dark energy device been activated? One of the evil spirit test subjects asked when they saw Yi Chun coming in. I'm afraid it won't be able to be activated for the rest of my life. What did you say? The evil spirit test subject was furious. He was powerful enough to suppress Yi Chun. Ignorant ant. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Whoosh! Yi Chun's eyes flashed, and the 5 tribulation bodiless immortal test subject exploded. After absorbing many dark energy and transforming into various clones, Yi Chun was very familiar with the energy circulation of the evil spear bodies. As long as they were not on guard, killing these bodiless immortal evil spirits was a piece of cake. Who are you? How dare you kill an evil spirit test subject? Catch him. He's a spy. Kill. After killing the test subject, Yi Chen's identity was exposed, but there was no need to hide it anymore. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yi Chen returned to his true form, holding the Heavenly Emperor's sword in his hand. You evil beings, how dare you capture a human cultivator for this experiment? You deserve to die. As he swung the Heavenly Emperor's sword, a huge sword shape appeared in the air like a tower that reached the sky, crashing down. Within the space, energy exploded, dragons and tigers roared, and rocks flew everywhere. Boom, boom, boom. As the sword fell, the space trembled and shattered. God knew how many test subjects died on the spot. Before the Heavenly Emperor, all things shall perish. The demon eye appeared between Yi Chen's brows again. The power of the darkness pool behind him erupted wildly. It merged with the power of the Serpent Queen and turned into countless poisonous pythons, destroying the surrounding environment. Roar! With the power of the darkness pool, the Serpent Queen transformed into the eight-headed heavenly serpent and released dark nether energy wildly. Z, Z, Z. Wherever the netherworld energy went, not even a blade of grass grew. Everything was destroyed. Countless evil spirit experimenters screamed. They were the most elite researchers in the Nether Prison headquarters, and they were the evil spirit's most important assets. Today, they were all killed by Yi Chen. Ha ha ha, destroy them all. With the Heavenly Emperor's sword in hand, Yi Chen slashed through the universe. Boom, boom, boom. The sword chi whistled in all directions, and a heavenly snake roared furiously and destroyed everything. Tens of thousands of test subjects were all killed. Such a grand killing light instantly attracted the attention of the army command. Sir, this is bad. A human cultivator has taken over the underground laboratory. What? A human cultivator? How is that possible? Chopin roared, but he had no time to deal with the dark warrior before him. He dashed towards the underground lab. He was the main person in charge of this experiment. So. Moving in a flash, Jobrin was like a dragon crossing the river. His powerful might was unstoppable. Many dark spirit warriors around him didn't know what was going on and couldn't dodge in time. They were smashed to pieces on the spot, drenched in blood and separated from flesh. At this moment, Yi Chen was like a god of destruction as he completely destroyed the entire laboratory. Not only did the eight-headed heavenly snake absorb all the evil energy, but all the experimental devices were also destroyed by it. At the same time, hundreds of itinerant, immortal, evil spirit elite guards were killed by Yi Chen. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. At this moment, evil energy surged and a person descended from the sky. It's Lord Jobrin. This is great, this is great. We're saved. Lord Jobrin is here. Kill this man. Everyone, retreat and wait for Lord Jobrin. The remaining hundreds of dark spirit warriors retreated one after another, creating space for Jobrin to descend. Boom, boom, boom. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Jobrin descended in rage. The ground trembled, and the void was torn apart. The entire environment fell into a violent strangulation. You're the one who destroyed the entire laboratory? Jobrin asked while looking at Yi Chen with bloodshot eyes. Ha, that's me. What do you think? Yi Chen looked at Jobrin and smirked. This person had just been humiliated by him in the square above, and now he came down to die. He would give him a quick death this time. Very well, very well. Today I'm going to tear you into pieces and devour your heart and lungs. Oh, you're quite ambitious, but you won't have any chance before you die. The corner of Yi Chen's lips curled up slightly as he slowly raised the Heavenly Emperor's sword in his hand. Kill! Jobrin was extremely furious. He did not hesitate at all as he charged at Yi Chen in a frenzy. Only evil energy surged between heaven and earth. Slash! Yi Chen did not show any mercy. He slashed down and shattered all the evil energy instantly. Clang, clang, clang. The forces of both sides clashed and collided continuously in the sky. The shockwaves caused by every collision could kill a loose immortal. With such power, how could the dark spirit warriors dare to approach? They all retreated. Die. Jobrin released his territory. Immediately, An incomparably huge tree of evil energy appeared behind him. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The tree kept stirring its trunk. Following that, countless branches grew out and rushed at Yi Chun like giant hands. The entire space was surrounded by this evil tree. Many dark spirit warriors did not even have time to retreat. As long as they were controlled by the evil tree, they would all turn into bloody mist and become nourishment for the evil tree. Ha ha, bastard. You can't escape in my evil tree barrier. You're dead. Is that so? You want to stop me with such a useless move? Who gave you the confidence? Dark lightning flashed in Yi Chen's eyes again, and the heavenly emperor's sword in his hand turned black at the same time. Evil heavenly emperor, darkness surge. Holding the sword with both hands, he stirred the wind and clouds. Suddenly, darkness descended and devoured everything. A huge shock appeared and turned into the mouth of a shocking beast, charging at the huge evil tree. What? Impossible. Jabrin's heart trembled when he saw this. Could it be that Yi Chun wanted to devour his evil tree? That was impossible. He was very sure that no one could do it. Swoosh! The huge dark light turned into a dragon's mouth and charged at the evil tree. Gradually, the dragon's mouth grew larger and larger, covering the entire evil tree like the sky. The evil tree was Jabrin's strongest barrier. It was his everything. Once the evil tree was taken, he would become completely useless. Don't even think about it. Jabrin roared. His hands grew sharp claws, and he charged at Yi Chun. Chapter 2063. A corner dog will jump over a wall. Ha ha ha. Yi Chun laughed out loud. The pool of darkness behind him turned into countless frenzied, devouring beasts that charged at Jabrin. Cha Palin turned pale with fright. His rage and madness from before had completely vanished. He could sense the powerful nether god's power from the devourer beasts. If there was anyone on this continent that evil spirits feared the most, it would definitely be the nether god's temple. Roar! The three devouring beasts turned into 3 puffs of thick black smoke and charged at Jabrin crazily. No. Jabrin's heart was filled with fear and helplessness. He had even forgotten that he was a true immortal stage cultivator. True immortals were existences who had comprehended the ultimate rules of immortal spells between heaven and earth. Although they lived on the ground, they already had the qualifications to ascend. However, in order to avoid the unpredictable heavenly tribulation, they often did not dare to ascend easily. The underworld god realm was a very special existence. It existed between the earth realm and the heavenly realm. True immortals could move freely here without any restrictions. Therefore, many true immortals hid in the middle realms like the underworld god realm, the primordial immortal world, and the demon martial world. Very few people knew of their existence. However, as long as one entered these middle realms, one would realize that these super powerhouses were not as mysterious as one imagined. Roar! The devouring beast instantly bit Jabrin's arms and began to devour his energy crazily. At the same time, the devouring beast in the middle stared at Jabrin's head and kept releasing dark energy, seemingly very excited. Jabrin gradually calmed down. With a furious roar, all the immortal power in his body exploded and turned into evil energy. He charged at the devouring beast. Rumble! With a shocking explosion, Jabrin's powerful power instantly destroyed the devouring beast. The other 2 devouring beasts were also sent flying and returned to the pool of darkness's body. Fuse! Oomph! I'm a genuine, true, immortal cultivator. I was almost fooled by you. Jabrin snorted coldly as if he wanted to get back at Yi Chun because he was in a sorry state earlier. This was the result of his weak martial will. Although he was at the true immortal stage, his martial will was far from matching the true immortal stage. Therefore, he revealed his true self in the face of Yi Chen's nether god power. Cha Palin, this emperor will kill you like a dog. Your dignity is worthless. Stinking brat, you're being stubborn, aren't you? Today, I'm going to wipe you out completely. They were surrounded by evil spirit powerhouses. If Job Allen continued to be suppressed by Yi Chun in this battle, his reputation would be completely shattered. He wanted to regain his dignity and his true immortal aura. Then, he would crush Yi Chun. This was the only way he could regain his confidence. At the same time, Fess and Barenk also arrived. They weren't in a hurry to make a move because they knew that Job Allen didn't want them to make a move. I didn't expect a human brat to suppress Job Allen to such a miserable state. How strange, Fess said with a smile. Barenk did not laugh. He stared at Yi Chun coldly. The darkness pool that Yi Chun had released earlier was extremely violent. The nether deity force contained in it meant that Yi Chun and the nether deity were inextricably linked. There must be a big secret on him. We must capture this man. Barenk said. Barenk, what do you mean? Do you want the enraged Job Allen to spare this brat's life? How is that possible? This isn't something he can decide. Didn't you feel the nether deity force just now? So what? We're in the depths of the nether purgatory. We should also prepare for the upcoming battle. The nether god temple is our ultimate enemy. That's why we must keep this person alive. Only by studying the information on his power can we better understand the nether god tribe. Oh, I understand. Fess nodded slightly. As expected, as the symbol of wisdom among the three leaders, Barenk's thoughts were more meticulous. If Yi Chun really had information on the nether god, then keeping him alive was undoubtedly the best choice. However, I don't think this brat will be killed that easily. Let's see how long he can struggle. How about it? We can watch, but we must not let Job Allen kill him. Don't worry, Barenk. With me here, this person won't die. An amused smile appeared on Fess's face. He wanted to see what kind of potential Yi Chun could unleash under Job Allen's pressure. Fess had always been interested in potential, so he was the one who came to this underground hall the most. In the battlefield below, Job Allen released his immortal law and merged it with his evil spirit energy. His aura had greatly increased. Haha, before a true immortal, a Mahayana stage cultivator is like an ant. Mahayana stage? Haha, do you really think I'm still a Mahayana stage cultivator? Suddenly, Yi Chun's lips curled into a sneer. Then, in the sky, muffled thunder rumbled. The majesty of the heavenly Tao manifested boundlessly. What? Job Allen frowned slightly. He felt that this was definitely not man-made lightning. It was truly the heavenly Tao's divine lightning. Could it be that this person wanted to directly release the power of heavenly tribulation and use it to deal with him? Job Allen sneered. Haha, do you think you can scare me away with the divine lightning of ascension? You're too naive, Yi Chun. This method can only scare away those with low cultivation bases. Perhaps in your world, it can scare away people at full Mahayana stage or even top itinerant immortals because they wouldn't dare to let the divine lightning find them. However, I, a true immortal, am absolutely not afraid of this useless lightning. Is that so? Very well, then please have a taste of this divine lightning with me. Yi Chun made up his mind and completely released his foundation. In an instant, the entire space was filled with all kinds of energy. The energy ball in Yi Chun's body exploded. How is this possible? In the blink of an eye, Job Allen felt that his body was filled with several types of energy. How could a person have so many types of energy in his body? How could he believe it? Ordinary people, even genius cultivators, could store 2 types of energy in their body. 3 was the limit of the limit. They could be said to be a genius among geniuses. However, Yi Chun's strength surpassed 3 types. How can you let so much energy circulate in your body? It's impossible for you to maintain your stability. That's your knowledge. My body isn't something you can imagine. Chapter 2064. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. In the sky, the heavenly lightning rumbled and pierced through the entire mountain, reaching all the way to the bottom. In the blink of an eye, the mountain peaks in the palace's formation all showed signs of unstable cracks, which made Job Allen feel threatened. There was a large amount of evil energy stored in the mountain. After tens of thousands of experiments, once the space here was disturbed by extreme external forces, it would instantly enter an extremely chaotic state and even collapse on the spot. Jabron, what are you waiting for? Subdue this be asterisk star now. Fythe shouted from the peak. Shut up. Jabron thought that Fythe's words were an insult to him, so he was instantly enraged. This person is related to the Nether God's power. I don't want to say too much. Subdue him now. Jabron, Fythe is right. You don't have much time left. Fythe and Embark put pressure on Jabron, which made the latter very unhappy. As one of the three leaders, he felt that he was being isolated by the other two. However, if Yi-Chun was really related to the Nether God, subduing him would be a great contribution. By then, Jabron, would naturally straighten his back. He turned to look at Yi-Chun and said, "Ha, I didn't expect a human cultivator to be related to the Nether God. You've really impressed me. However, this will only make your death worse. The Nether God is a target that our evil spirit clan must eliminate. A lowly ant dares to stand shoulder to shoulder with a god? Jabron, cherish the few seconds you have left." Suddenly, a strange smile appeared at the corner of Yi-Chun's lips. It was like the smile of the Grim Reaper, making Jobrin's heart skip a beat. However, he soon calmed down. He was a true immortal cultivator, an existence that countless powerhouses looked up to. With such a cultivation base, he was a godlike existence in the human world. Therefore, the person before him should kneel and worship him, yet he dared to mock him like this. It was unbelievable and unforgivable. How dare you call yourself a god in my evil spirit land? Yi-Chun died. Jobrin's anger rose from the bottom of his heart, and he became bold. His anger reached its peak. Instantly, the evil tree's power exploded again, wanting to devour Yi-Chun. However, he had forgotten how he had failed before. Good timing. Yi-Chun smirked inwardly. He had been waiting for this opportunity, waiting for the moment when the Choprin's evil tree exploded. Source of darkness, devour all things. ZZZ. Behind Yi-Chun, the power of the origin of darkness rose once again. Endless dark matter spread throughout the entire space. Countless mountain walls, ground, and even cracks in the rocks were filled with dark matter. Roar! Then, the dark substance turned into a huge mouth of darkness, covering the heavens and destroying the earth. Chi, chi, chi. The flow of the dark matter was getting faster and faster. Its body was getting bigger and bigger, gradually surpassing Jobrin's control. This. Translator, Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios at the same time, Felix and Embark couldn't sit still anymore. The two leaders looked at each other. They understood that if they did not restrict the flow of the dark matter released by Yi-Chun, the entire underground experimental hall would fall into the devouring network of the dark origin. At that time, not only Charbelum, but the entire evil spirit headquarters would be implicated. This was because Yi-Chun's dark matter had an infinite devouring ability, like a primordial beast that never had its fill. Attack! The two of them flew out and charged at Yi-Chun. Let's attack together. Facing the three leaders, Yi-Chun sneered. He was not afraid of the might of the Heavenly Emperor. This situation made countless evil spirit powerhouses feel fear, anger, confusion, and various other emotions. They had never seen such a scene before. The dark matter was like a constantly replicating phage, and the evil spirits, as well as various devices and spaces, had all become the bacteria that the phage wanted to devour. They were all high and mighty powerhouses. Who would have thought that one day they would become a tiny life form like bacteria? With the three leaders here, I don't believe we can't subdue this guy. Yes, the three leaders are super powerhouses of the true immortal stage. Their strength is far from what this kid can deal with. We evil spirits are the strongest. Under the powerful suppression of Yi-Chun's dark matter, the evil spirits had already lost their minds. They only wanted to use the Psyche Victory technique to make up for the damage on their minds. This already showed the characteristics of a weak life form. This was the powerful suppression of the power of the Nether God, making those so-called powerhouses bow their heads. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The dark matter extended endlessly, and the speed of the collision was extremely fast. In a blink of an eye, the entire underground experiment hall had collapsed. "What are you guys doing here?" Seeing Fife and Barank making a move, Jobrin was obviously very dissatisfied. He was a true immortal stage cultivator, but he needed the help of the other two leaders to deal with a Mahayana stage cultivator. Was there any need for him to continue being the commander? Cut the crap. This person's strength is far above his cultivation level. Can't you see that he wants to devour the entire evil spirit land? Jobrin, now is not the time to argue. We're only making a move for safety's sake. The dark matter that this person released is the legendary source of darkness. I heard that it's a ball of dark energy left behind by the nether god that has gained sentience. I didn't expect Yi Chun to obtain it. I can deal with it. Is that so? If you can really deal with it, there's no need for us to make a move. Felix and Barank threw disdainful gazes at Jobrin, which made the latter even more furious. He didn't care anymore. He wanted to kill his opponent with his own hands. Only by doing so could he wash away his humiliation. Evil tree fusion. It was a forbidden technique. Jobrin had merged with the evil tree and was going to fight the dark substance that Yi Chun controlled. Boom! Chopolin's body completely fused with the evil tree, and his huge face appeared on the trunk of the tree. Ha ha ha! His coarse laughter echoed throughout the space. Even the evil spirit powerhouses were shocked to see Jobrin in such a state. They never expected Jobrin to have such a forbidden technique. Yi Chun, let the evil tree king end your life now. Pray, Hunter, did you really see it clearly? I don't need to see clearly. As long as I eat you, I will be the winner. In the end, you still can't see clearly. Just when Jobrin was about to open his mouth to devour Yi Chun, he suddenly saw an extremely majestic silhouette on the ground. It was as if the entire world was collapsing. Not good. Jobrin dodge. What? Seeing the exaggerated expressions of Fife and Barank, Jobrin didn't know what was going on. However, a gigantic mouth that could devour a mountain fell from the sky and plunged him into endless darkness. Chapter 2065. The gigantic shadow slowly engulfed Jobrin. The latter could already feel the coldness that seeped into his soul. A primordial beast was standing behind him with its bloody mouth wide open. The scene that he had imagined was unavoidable. His heart was still indescribable. Despair, pain, and unwillingness were all brewing. Jobrin, Fife and Barank were shocked. At this moment, the source of darkness had evolved into the ultimate fear of the unknown. Swish! The gigantic beast's mouth devoured the people beneath it. As the shadow passed by, there was no life left. Everything was over. Jobrin's figure had already disappeared. Following that, the evil tree rapidly withered. Its energy had been completely absorbed by the source of darkness. The entire space was constantly flowing with dark matter. This dark matter was frantically sucking on the walls and drilling into the earth veins. In any case, as long as it was a space, it would be occupied. This kind of greed and devouring nature shocked everyone. A perfected immortal, a person who has comprehended a worldly immortal art, has been devoured. No one knew who said this. At this moment, everyone finally reacted. Their commander, one of the three leaders, Jobrin, had completely disappeared. As it absorbed Jobrin's energy, the source of darkness roared continuously. Its entire body's form kept changing, and all kinds of terrifying scenes caused many evil spirit experts present to fall into a terrifying state of consciousness. The power of darkness corroded their brains. Their legs went weak, and they kept kneeling on the ground. Then they started worshiping. Source of darkness, accept our worship. Many itinerant immortals even lost their consciousness. They were completely controlled by the source of darkness's dark power and recognized him as their true lord. Yi Chun floated above the source of darkness's head and accepted everyone's worship. He was now the king of these people. All of you get up. Fei Si roared in anger. As one of the three leaders, how could he allow his subordinates to bow to a human? Don't be bewitched by this dark power. It's all fake. Barank shouted at the same time. Everything had gone out of control. As the highest commanders of the army, Their minds had also gone crazy. The corrosion of this dark energy not only caused their bodies to lose their battle prowess, but also caused them to go crazy. No matter how strong one's foundation was or how high one's cultivation base was, in such a state of madness, one would definitely lose their ability to think and act calmly. Resisting the celestial arch will only result in death. The majestic and heavy voice of darkness drove the worshippers even more crazy. They kowtowed continuously, their faces covered in blood. Felix and Berenk were, after all, true immortal realm cultivators. Their martial will and mental energy were both extremely powerful. Their eyes emitted evil energy, activating the evil energy formation buried deep in the earth veins of the headquarters, forcefully capturing those evil spirit experts and throwing them out of the underground experimental hall. Yi Chun, you bastard. You want to bewitch the evil spirit tribe? You deserve to die. Don't think that your source of darkness is strong. Before the demonic energy array, you are nothing. Jobelin's death had a huge impact on Fythe and Berenk. They didn't care what Yi Chin's cultivation base was. They want to join hands and crush him. The evil spirit powerhouses that were thrown out of the underground experiment hall gradually regained consciousness. They looked at the scene in the experiment hall from afar with lingering fear. Yi Chun is too dangerous. I completely lost myself just now. That's right. We're also in the itinerant immortal realm. I didn't expect to fall in the hands of a Mahayana realm cultivator. Where did this person come from? Even Commander Jobalin isn't his match. It's inevitable that we'll fall. Although they had escaped the control of the source of darkness, the fear they had for Yi Chun was still deeply buried in their hearts. It was like an unforgettable mark. Apart from worshipping the evil god, only Yi Chun could make them so crazy. 3,000 feet underground, Yi Chun floated high above the source of darkness. The surrounding dark matter continued to extend as if there was no limit. Felix and Berenk looked at each other. They would not be like Jobalin and give Yi Chun a chance to devour. They directly activated their abilities. With the support of the evil spirit array in the earth veins, the power of their abilities rose to another level. The two of them released their true immortal energy at the same time. This energy was far above that of an itinerant immortal. It was a different kind of energy. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Sparks flew in the surrounding space, and everything was changing rapidly. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The extension of the dark matter was affected by the powerful evil energy and began to show signs of wretchedness. Felix, Berenk, you dare to attack me? Only death awaits you. Ha ha, Yi Chun, do you really have the ability to call yourself an emperor? We're not Jobalin and won't fall into your trap. We'll use the evil spirit array to devour you completely and turn you and the source of darkness into nourishment for the array. Yes, let's also have a taste of being devoured, Berenk ordered. Suddenly, the entire space in the headquarters shook. Then countless evil energy erupted from the earth veins. It was the evil spirit array. Rumble. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Countless cracks appeared on the ground. A vast amount of evil energy began to penetrate the earth veins, turning into a giant python that covered the sky and coiled toward the source of darkness. The massive evil energy spell formation began to morph into a gargantuan three-headed python. It was the symbol of the three leaders. But now that Jobalin had been killed, only Felix and Berenk had ascended and stood above the other two. Ha ha, Yi Chun, such a grand, evil energy python must be more oppressive than your source of darkness, right? In our eyes, you're still an ant-like existence. You want to fight against us? Dream on. The two mobilized the laws of immortal spells and unleashed their foundation. The evil energy was strengthened by the laws of immortal spells, and its power increased rapidly. Then, it fused with the evil spirit array and controlled the entire space. Roar. The three-headed python roared wildly and spat out countless amounts of poison at Yi Chun. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Wherever the poison touched, even the hardest rock would quickly corrode and turn into powder. Ha ha ha, you're dead. Seeing this scene, Barank and Felix revealed a sinister smile. As long as one was corroded by the poison, no matter how strong one would be destroyed. Just when the two were feeling smug, suddenly, 10 meters in front of Yi Chun, countless amounts of dark matter turned into a wall of darkness, instantly blocking the corrosive poison. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The poison began to corrode the wall of darkness, and gradually, a hole appeared on the wall of darkness. See that? There's nothing that can stop the poison. Yi Chun, you're done for. The two continued to stimulate the three-headed python's power. As the evil energy poured in, the three-headed python seemed to have no limits as it crazily spewed poison. Yi Chun was in an extremely dangerous situation. Chapter 2066. Seeing a large amount of dark matter being corroded by the poison, Yi Chun's eyes narrowed, and he did something shocking. Ah! With a cold shout, Yi Chun merged with the dark matter and turned into the Dark Lord Hades again. I don't care what you turn into, you must die. Fythe and Barank frantically activated the laws of immortal force, pushing the dark energy to its peak. The three-headed python bit and spat out poison. The poison became denser and denser, finally turning into a poisonous mist and venom. All of it rushed toward Yi Chun. Yi Chun's body was covered by the dark matter and turned into a giant. Ancient God Power. Activating the Ancient God Power, Yi Chun's Ancient God Power merged with the dark matter. His immunity to poison was directly transmitted to the origin of darkness. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Countless amounts of poison began to corrode Yi Chun's body. However, the invincible Ancient God Power could not penetrate the dark armor at all. Fythe, Barank, how do you feel now? Yi Chun locked his cold eyes on the two and shouted. How is this possible? The two were shocked. The poison spewed by the three-headed python was 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than before, but it could not harm Yi Chun at all. Even the dark matter was immune to the poison. He did not know that this was the effect of the Ancient God Power. Now it's my turn. The dark sword behind Yi Chun suddenly flew up. Evil Emperor Slash. The Heavenly Emperor Sword transformed into the Evil Emperor Sword and cut through the sky. Rumble, kacha, kacha, kacha. Everyone, everything, and everything that stood in the way of the evil sword was annihilated. The origin of darkness wrapped around the evil sword. It was strange, evil, and indescribable. What exactly are you? Fythe and Barank finally understood Jobrin's fear. Although they were true immortals, they were like ants before Yi Chun. It was impossible for them to understand that the power contained in Yi Chun's body surpassed the laws of nature and boundaries. Moreover, Yi Chun's talent with the Heavenly Emperor body was beyond their imagination. Ah! The evil emperor's eyes emitted blood-red lightning, his killing intent rising. Devour! With a command, a dark mouth grew on the evil sword. Then, countless amounts of dark matter turned into terrifying devourers and rushed toward Fythe and Barank. Go! The two of them commanded the three pythons to charge forward. So. The devourer's figure was extremely fast, transforming into all kinds of dark light as it sped away. In the blink of an eye, it was covered in the three-headed python's fist radiance. Kacha, kacha, kacha. His sharp fangs tore at the three-headed python in a frenzy. In less than a moment, not even its bones were left. Looking at this scene, even Fythe and Barank were stunned. The evil energy formation of their nether prison headquarters was actually devoured by Yi Chun. Obviously, Yi Chun's devouring power wasn't something they could resist. Work together. The two of them had nowhere to retreat, so they could only join hands. Such a scene had already plunged the evil spirit powerhouses who were watching from the outside into despair. The two true immortal leaders have to join forces to fight Yi Chun. Don't you guys understand? Even if they join forces, they're no match for Yi Chun. Just what is going on here? Aren't true immortals invincible existences? It seems like being invincible against Yi Chun is nothing. All the evil spirit powerhouses once again recalled the memory of worshipping the origin of darkness in the underground hall. These memories made them feel pain, sorrow, and fear at the same time. They seemed to be gradually eroded by Yi Chen's power, completely falling into his hands. All kinds of mental attacks and the pressure from the evil heavenly emperor's supreme might below. They gradually lost themselves. Evil God, grant me power. The two leaders sacrificed their own blood, hoping to obtain the evil God's power. In front of the Dark Lord, even gods are useless. The Dark Lord erupted with supreme might, his eyes filled with murderous intent. It was as if the gates of hell had opened behind him. Accept the Nether King's judgment. The Dark Lord, the Nether King, wielded the evil sword and absorbed endless darkness energy. It had already surpassed the 3 realms and 6 paths. They continued to sacrifice their own blood, but it was meaningless. The evil god still gave up on them. In the eyes of the evil god, Fythe and Barank were just ants. So what if they died? No. The two of them wailed in pain, completely losing their dignity. They knelt before Yi Chun, sincerely kneeling on the ground. The evil god won't give up on us. We're devout believers of the evil god. No one can kill us. Yi Chun smirked as he looked at the two people who were close to madness. The evil god cares about the lives of 2 ants? Your value has been used up. You're no different from dead people after losing to me. You've lost your dignity and don't even have the courage to commit suicide. I'll help you. Yi Chun was even more furious when he saw the 2 people who were like mud still trying to survive. They were no longer worthy of being cultivators. Nether King's blood severance, the evil heavenly sword suddenly shone with a dark starlight. Subsequently, the demon eye between Yi Chen's brows transformed into the Nether King's hexagram. It flew out and imprinted on the sword gleam. Swish, swish. 1 sword gleam, 2 slashes, and 2 souls were severed in 1 strike. They did not have time to scream or see everything clearly. All they could do was leave behind their most terrified and despairing eyes as their heads rolled off. The 2 leaders are both dead. The evil spirit powerhouse's incredulous gazes and cries came from above. They looked at everything that happened in the experiment hall below and were clearly completely stunned. Those itinerant immortal powerhouses could not even move. They looked at Yi Chun as if they had seen the evil god and knelt down. Rumble. Yi Chun's body suddenly soared. The Dark Lord, the Nether King, dominated the ages. The Dark Lord's might, the Nether King's judgment. Countless evil spirit powerhouses were completely controlled by the Dark Force. They kowtowed to Yi Chun continuously. Their minds had already belonged to the Dark Lord, and they had all become Yi Chun's slaves. I've already accepted your devout hearts. This place will be rebuilt as the Dark Lord's underworld hall. Yes, we accept your orders. A peak itinerant immortal evil spirit stepped forward to accept the Dark Lord's orders. Clang! Yi Chun pointed with a sword finger, and a Nether King seal was imprinted between the powerhouse's brows. From now on, if they dared to betray the Nether King, their heads would explode and blood would splatter everywhere. I appoint you as the commander of this place. Report all information to me directly. Yes, sir. The powerhouse knelt and kowtowed. Following that, all the evil spirits knelt and worshipped Yi Chun. Rumble. Yi Chun stomped on the ground and flew into the sky. His huge body was like a demon god descending to the world. He surrounded the world and shook the 4 seas. In an instant, the battle energy in this place erupted and spread the news of the battle. Soon, the news of Yi Chun single-handedly destroying the evil spirit Nether Prison headquarters spread throughout the Nether Prison continent. Yi Chun's name was like a miracle, praised by everyone. Chapter 2067. Nether Prison's 10th Hall. Was it really Yi Chun who destroyed the evil spirit headquarters in the Nether Prison continent? In the main hall, a tall cultivator in embroidered robes walked forward and asked anxiously, 10th Palace Master, it's really Yi Chun. Looks like the information we receive from the Netherworld realm is true. This person is very extraordinary. We must find him before the other palaces find him. Don't worry. Our 10th Divine Hall has sent out tens of times more troops than the other halls. We'll definitely be able to find Senior Yi. Very well, let's go. The expert nodded slightly and quickly left the hall. In the main hall, many combatants began to discuss. Previously, they had been suspicious of Yi Chun. However, they saw that the people from the Ninth Palace had directly notified the Flowing Cloud sect and asked them to pay attention to Yi Chun's existence. Now that Yi Chun had defeated the evil spirits, this was a feat that they could not ignore. Under such circumstances, the Nightmare Hall had to act decisively. Only by finding Yi Chun in advance would they have a chance to make a name for themselves. Hall Master, we've made ample preparations this time. There won't be any problems. An elder said. Even so, the news of Yi Chun's victory over the evil spirit Nether Prison's headquarters has spread. I believe that the 10 Temple Masters must be looking for his whereabouts. We may not be able to win. Don't worry, Palace Master. I believe that Yi Chun has stayed in the Flowing Cloud sect before. Perhaps we can find some clues from them. Oh, go to the Sky Cloud Martial School immediately and look for clues. Yes. The elder bowed slightly and then quickly disappeared within the main hall of the Flowing Cloud sect. I didn't expect Senior Yi to single-handedly wipe out the entire evil spirit headquarters. Who can match this kind of power? I think even the Lord of the 10 Nether Prison Palaces can't do it. The Supreme Elder sat on the high seat, his face flushed red as he spoke to the crowd. Supreme Elder is indeed knowledgeable. You have long seen that this person is extraordinary. Why don't we immediately recommend Senior Yi to the Nether Prison? Perhaps it will have some effect. Alas, Senior Yi is now on his way to Nether Prison. I wonder where he is now. Just as everyone was feeling melancholy, a Sky Cloud Martial School expert suddenly came in to report. Reporting to Supreme Elder, a Nether Prison messenger is here. What? Hurry up and invite them in. Hearing that it was a Nether Prison messenger, the Supreme Elder immediately stood up and led the crowd to welcome him. Da-da-da. Everyone came out of the palace and saw an old man dressed in a black robe. Netherworld energy surrounded his body, and he looked very dignified. On behalf of the Sky Cloud sect, we welcome Lord Envoy. Get up. The old man landed on the ground and said, I'm Elder Hei Yun of the 10th Nether Prison Palace. I've come for Yi Chun. Senior Yi? Hearing this name, everyone was excited. Indeed, did this person come to your Sky Cloud Martial School? Reporting to the envoy, that is indeed the case. Why don't we enter the main hall to discuss in detail? There's no need. Let's talk here. I'm pressed for time. Yes. The Supreme Elder stepped forward and bowed slightly, then said, This person has come to our Flowing Cloud sect. I think he's a hidden powerhouse, and ordinary people can't see through him. On behalf of the Flowing Cloud sect, we welcome this senior. I didn't expect this senior to be such an expert. He single-handedly destroyed the entire evil spirit headquarters. It is a miracle. I know all of this. Tell me something useful. Did the 9th Palace of Nether Prison ask you to entertain Yi Chun? That's right. A messenger from the 9th Divine Hall has come to inform us. When Yi Chun left, did you have any communication? We offered the map of Nether Prison to Senior Yi. The map of Nether Prison? To the 9th Palace? That's right. B** starred. Ian was furious. The Flowing Cloud sect's Supreme Elder and the others knelt on the ground, not daring to raise their heads. It's a waste of time talking nonsense with you. In the future, the Flowing Cloud sect will be managed by the 10th Palace. You must not listen to any other orders. Moreover, if there is any information, inform the 10th Palace immediately, understand? Rest assured, Envoy, we will obey your orders. Get up. With that, Hei Yun flew out and sped toward the Nether Prison. After he left, the Supreme Elder and the others stood up and shook their heads continuously. Supreme Elder, why is that? Why? Can't you tell? It's obvious that the 10 palaces are fighting for Senior Yi. We're stuck between these forces, and it's very painful. Go back. Yes. Everyone returned to the main hall. Elder Hei Yun used his profound movement technique and followed the route of the 10th Palace to quickly find Yi Chun's whereabouts. At this moment, Yi Chun had destroyed the evil spirit headquarters in the Nether Prison continent and was heading toward the 9th Palace according to the map. Halfway there, he suddenly sensed a powerful array formation fluctuation ahead. This is? Yichen flew up and hid among the ancient trees, flashing and leaping. In an empty plain in front of him, a few cultivators were facing each other. Idiot, your 10th palace is the weakest of the 10 nether prison palaces. It's ridiculous to compare yourself to our 9th palace. Don't be so arrogant. If you can beat me, I'll naturally submit to you. All right, since you don't know what's good for you, don't go easy on me. The two powerhouses glared at each other fiercely. It was obvious that they were very hostile. Seeing this, Yi Chun sneered in his heart. He did not expect there to be such a grudge between the 10 nether prison palaces. He thought to himself, let's see who's more powerful between the 9th and 10th palaces before deciding which one to go to. On the battlefield, the person who attacked from the 10th palace was a young man. He looked like he was 18 or 19 years old and was still a little immature. However, Yichen knew very well that this was the cultivation world. This person's age was definitely not as simple as he looked. The person who attacked from the 9th palace was a thin man with a sinister face. His fingers were like sharp claws, and he looked very fierce. The two of them stood in the formation. This formation was a trapping formation. After entering it, one could not come out at will, forming a battlefield. Yichen took out a few supreme-grade Ming stones as snacks. He sat on the ancient tree, but no one noticed him. At this moment, on the battlefield, the thin man was the first to move. Ming Xian, I'll make you my food this time. Let me see what's the difference between your flesh and those mystical beasts. Or should I say that there's no difference? Then I'll be able to enjoy myself. Lungjiu, you'd better go back to your black rainforest. You don't deserve to be human. That's right. I don't want to be a good person either. However, I'll eat you first. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lung Jiu's figure moved in an instant, turning into a ray of cold light that directly entered the black rainforest. Following that, the surrounding space rapidly darkened, and all light was lost. Yichen glanced sideways slightly. It was his first time seeing such a barrier. It was quite interesting. Chapter 2068. Lung Jiu's figure gradually blurred, and the surrounding formation actually began to expand. This was clearly an advantage for Lung Jiu, which was to allow Lung Jiu to move as far as possible within a wide range, causing Ming Xian's senses to miss. Yichen despised this kind of behavior. He did not expect these kids to start playing tricks in a fight. However, he did not make a move immediately. He wanted to use their battle to derive the divine abilities and secret techniques of the 9th and 10th divine halls. The battle between the two of them officially began. Lung Jiu had the geographical advantage, but Ming Xian was as steady as Mount Tai, as if he had a card up his sleeve. All sorts of information from the battlefield entered Yi Chen's eyes. From Lung Jiu's movement technique, he could tell that the 9th palace might be related to mystical beasts. From the strength of Ming Xian's psyche power, he could tell that the 10th palace might be adept at psychological warfare. It was a psyche power technique. Kill. Lung Jiu's eyes shone with a blood-red light. His figure was like a phantom, and his speed was so fast that he couldn't even blink. Ming Xian actually closed his eyes and used his mental strength to lock onto Lung Jiu's position. Such a marvelous technique amazed everyone present. This Ming Xian is courting death. Just watch. Senior brother Lung Jiu will deal with him soon. Haha, of course. The people from the 9th Divine Hall started to mock them, but the people from the 10th Divine Hall were relatively calm. Lung Jiu's killing shadow appeared and went straight for Ming Xian's vitals. At this moment, Ming Xian suddenly opened his eyes, and waves of mental power rushed straight at Lung Jiu's mind. Impossible. Lung Jiu felt that everything in front of him was chaotic. He couldn't see anything at all. Even Ming Xian's aura had disappeared. Bright moon palm. Boom! With a loud bang, Lung Jiu's figure was directly slapped 10 feet away, and he fell to the ground in pain. Okay. The people of the 10th Divine Hall all cheered, which instantly incited the anger of the people of the 9th Divine Hall. All of their eyes were bloodshot and ferocious, as if they were evil spirits. Whoosh! At this moment, an old man descended and stopped everyone from fighting. What are you all doing? Killing each other? Elder He Yun, The members of the 9th Divine Hall have gone too far. They've bullied our 10th Divine Hall many times, and now that we've lost the battle, they actually want to act violently. Right? The people from the 9th Palace are too rude. They deserve to die. Many people from the 10th Hall stepped forward and said, "Don't say any more. I don't have time to bother with you all. Disperse." Disperse? Senior Brother Lungio, you're leaving just like that? An expert from a 9th Palace stepped forward and said coldly. Heian looked at that person coldly. It was the Thorn of the 9th Divine Hall, Ice Wolf. How dare you be so rude in front of me? Ha ha. The people of the 9th Palace are like that. So what? At this moment, a burst of maniacal laughter rang out. Everyone looked over and saw a middle-aged man with dark skin like charcoal descending. This person was the elder of the 9th Divine Hall, Black Tiger. Ice Cold was his disciple. Seeing this scene, he wanted to stand up for his disciple. For a moment, the atmosphere was tense. Seeing this scene, Yi Chun gained a basic understanding of the 9th Palace and the 10th Palace. It seemed that the people of the 9th Palace were used to being domineering. A disciple could be rude to an elder. Such a thing was rare. Yi Chun exhaled. In less than 15 minutes, Yi Chun had finished absorbing the clear stone that even a peak itinerant immortal would need to absorb for 3 months. Black Tiger, don't be unreasonable. Heian, do I need to reason with you in my territory? He walked to the front and looked at the people of the 10th Palace with a cold smile. I think this battle is very disadvantageous to us. What did you say? The people of the 10th Palace revealed expressions of anger. This battle was clearly disadvantageous to the 10th Palace, but Black Tiger was twisting the facts. Who can testify for you? We can all testify. Many combatants of the 10th Palace came out and shouted. Ha ha, you can testify for yourself. I'm dying of laughter. No one can testify. Since you're in my territory, you must do as I say. Otherwise die. You. Elder Heian was also angry. He did not expect the 9th Palace to be so arrogant. I can testify. Suddenly, a voice rang out in everyone's ears. Following that, a young man jumped down from the ancient tree and landed lightly on the ground, dissipating. You, who are you? Black Tiger and Heian were shocked at the same time. It was not because Yi Chun had done anything, but because he had not done anything. Both of them were supreme combatants close to true immortal stage. According to their sensing abilities, if someone was so close to them, it was impossible for them not to notice. However, earlier, they did not feel anything at all. The person in front of them was just a Mahayana stage cultivator. Was this not too much? Who I am isn't important. What's important is that I saw everything. Yi Chun told them everything he had seen. Instantly, the people of the 9th Palace were united against a common enemy. Be asterisk starred, you're seeking death. Devour this brat. Many combatants of the 9th Palace glared at Yi Chun fiercely. Yi Chun suddenly looked at the combatants of the 9th Palace with a pair of cold eyes. Instantly, his mind energy swept through the entire place. The disciples of the 9th Palace widened their eyes as if they were possessed. They knelt before Yi Chun, prostrating and kowtowing like ants. What are you doing? Black Tiger was instantly enraged. As a member of the 9th Palace, how could he tolerate such cowardice? However, what he didn't know was that even he would be greatly shocked by what those experts had seen. Elder Heian frowned slightly. He kept thinking, first of all, this is the way to the 10th Palace. Second, this person is a young man, and he's really young. It's clear that his talent is peerless. Third, this person's aura is like a god descending to the mortal world, insufferably arrogant. With these 3 clues, didn't they match up with a certain someone? Thinking of this, Elder Heian was overjoyed. Originally, this mission was to compete with the other 9th Palaces for Yi Chun. How could they be so lucky to meet him? Moreover, he seemed to be on their side. Black Tiger, do you admit to treating this senior so rudely? Elder Heian stepped forward and scolded. Heian, what did you say? Black Tiger was dumbfounded and angry at the same time. He was someone who was close to true immortal stage, the same generation as Heian. Yet, Heian called the person before him senior. Did he have to call him senior too? D***menu. In a rage, Black Tiger suddenly attacked Yi Chun. This was what Heian wanted to see. He shouted angrily, "Black Tiger, you can't afford to offend this person. Stop right now." "Ha ha, I can't afford to offend him? Heian, I think there's something wrong with your head. Who knows where this stinking brat came from? And he's even a human. In our underworld prison, humans are the lowest race. Ha ha." Hearing this, Yi Chun raised his head high and looked coldly at the person before him. Who could withstand the wrath of a heavenly emperor? Chapter 2069. Human, a lowly race? Ha ha ha. Yi Chun's cold eyes locked on a Black Tiger. It was as if a world of ice had descended upon the mortal world. Black Tiger was initially arrogant, but at this moment, he instantly felt a chill that penetrated the depths of his soul. This chill carried boundless murderous intent. It was as if he was looking at a towering giant standing before him. He could not resist at all. "This is impossible," he muttered to himself instinctively. Elder Heian was equally shocked. Although he did not sense Yi Chun's psyche suppression directed at him, he could tell from the expression on Black Tiger's face and the invisible pressure in the air that Elder Heian had fallen into a state of absolute suppression. Who are you? I'm just an ordinary human cultivator. Now, I'd like to ask you, why is the human clan a lowly race? Yi Chun's voice was like a blade of ice that pierced into Black Tiger's heart. This Black Tiger could not understand how a Mahayana stage person could suppress a half-step true immortal like him. This was absolutely illogical. For his own pride, he had to retaliate. Be *starred. You want to flaunt your power in front of me? Die. Black Tiger. Heian wanted to stop him, but it was too late. In this situation, no one could stop Black Tiger. The corner of Yi Chun's lips curled up slightly, and an invisible killing intent appeared in his eyes. In an instant, the environment before him fell into the ancient god territory. Black Tiger's every move was clearly under Yi Chun's control. Kill. Black Tiger steals heart. Black Tiger was clearly still brooding over being intimidated by Yi Chun. This time, he wanted to kill. Only by killing the person before him could he walk out of this humiliation. However, he did not expect that before the Heavenly Emperor, he was like a weak rabbit instead of a ferocious tiger. Clang! Just when Black Tiger wanted to rely on his strong foundation to suppress Yi Chun and kill him directly, he found that his sharp claws had been grabbed by fingers that were like steel pincers. He used all his foundation to break through, but he failed. The moment he failed, he understood that the person before him was completely different from what he had imagined. This person's strength was far above him. Yi Chun must have hidden his cultivation base and was pretending to be weak. In reality, Yi Chun did not hide at all. He was really at the Mahayana stage, even though the breakthrough was right before him. Kill. Just when Yi Chun was about to kill Black Tiger, several blood-colored chains suddenly appeared in the sky and rushed toward Yi Chun's neck. Yi Chun looked at the sky coldly and flew away. Clang, clang, clang. The chain was like a steel spear. It stabbed into the rock and shattered several peaks. Ha ha! Since when has the 9th palace been looked down upon? Ha ha! Since when has the 9th palace been looked down upon? There's no need to explain anything to a dead person. 3 people appeared in front of Hu. They were the 3 protectors of the 9th Divine Hall. 3 great protectors, you're here. This is great. Black, 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 Chun, black, 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 Yin said. Chun as you, black as said, Tiger, black Chun, black Chun. The 3 guardians are all beginner-level true immortals. In that case, even Yi Chun doesn't have the confidence to win, right? I as I. He as long as. Black Cloud knew that Yi Chun was more than enough to deal with Black Tiger alone. However, facing Black Tiger and the 3 true immortals at the same time was too difficult. Even if Yi Chun was a true immortal, it would be useless, much less someone at the Mahayana stage. Elder Heian was extremely anxious in his heart. After all, he had come here with a mission. Everyone, this is a misunderstanding. This person is a friend of the 10th Palace. Why don't you let me take him away for the sake of the 10th Palace Master? He quickly stepped forward and bowed. What? Ha ha ha. Hearing this, The three true immortals laughed at the same time, as if they were watching a clown perform acrobatics before them. Let you take him away? Black Cloud, are you an idiot? Black Tiger rushed forward aggressively. He had completely forgotten the lesson he had been taught earlier. Black Tiger, I'm here on the orders of the Palace Master to take him away. Palace Master? Idiot! What's the relationship between the 9th Palace Master and us? With the support of the three true immortals, Black Tiger became arrogant and did not care about anything else. Behind him, the three true immortals thought that Black Tiger was boosting the 9th Palace's reputation, so they did not say anything and just watched. Fellow cultivator, why don't you leave first? I'll handle this. Black Cloud was certain that the person before him was Yi-chan. As long as he completed this mission, he would have a great merit. As an elder of the 10th Palace, even if the 4 people before him had a problem with him, they would not kill him easily. His chances of survival were still very high, so he was taking a gamble. Ha, what's your name? Fellow cultivator, my name is Black Cloud. I'm an elder of the 10th Palace. Lead with these disciples, and I'll handle this. Ha, no need. Huh. Hearing Yi-chen's words, Black Cloud's heart trembled. He thought to himself, is this person really going up against 3 true immortals and a peak itinerant immortal? If that was the case, this person's arrogance was boundless. Was he really that senior Yi-chen? Black Cloud, what are you talking about with him? Don't even think about taking him away. Black Tiger scolded angrily. Thud, thud, thud. At this moment, Yi-chen turned around and walked toward fierce Black Tiger and the others. Fellow cultivator, do you really want to do this? Faced with Black Cloud's question, Yi-chen did not respond. His actions had proven everything. There was no need for such nonsense. Black Cloud shook his head slightly. He believed that even if the person before him was Yi-chen, he would not be able to fight against the 4 powerhouses of the 9th Palace. He could only sigh. The disciples of the 10th Hall at the back had looks of pity on their faces as well. After all, they did not have the courage to fight against the 10th Hall head-on. That aura alone was enough to make them feel deep respect for the cultivator before them. Brat, today will be the day you die. Faced with Black Tiger's threat, Yi-chen did not respond. Instead, his cold eyes locked onto the 4 people before him. Since they wanted to cause trouble, then he would make their deaths more meaningful. How about all 4 of you come at me together? What? The 4 powerhouses were enraged, especially the 3 guardians behind them. They were all true immortals. In any low-level dimension, they would be at the level of an ancestor. Now, Yi-chen wanted all 4 of them to come at him together. How could they look down on him and his group? Black Tiger, kill him. Yes, this is a good chance for you to regain your dignity. Kill. The 3 protectors shouted at Black Tiger. Previously, Black Tiger had a preliminary understanding of Yi-chen's strength. Yi-chen was definitely above him. Was he not going to die? Seeing that Black Tiger did not move and revealed a timid expression, the 3 guardians were furious at the same time. The asterisk imminent. Chapter 2070. Boom! One of the guardians struck with his palm. His target was not Yi-chen, but Black Tiger. With a scream, Black Tiger fell to the ground in agony. Guardian! Black Tiger's face contorted in pain, as if he was begging the guardian for mercy. Black Tiger, you're a half-step true immortal, but you're so afraid of this person. You've really opened our eyes. That's right, Black Tiger. Are you an idiot? Attack now. Don't worry, we'll protect you later. The 3 guardians spoke at the same time. Black Tiger understood that he had to attack even if he did not want to. If that was the case, he would use his strongest power. Even if he could not severely injure Yi-chen, he could at least save his life. Black Tiger flew up. Underworld energy gathered in his body as he performed immortal techniques. Buzz! Buzz! Around him, the Underworld Tiger appeared and aimed at Yi-chen. I asked all of you to attack together, and you're wasting time. Then, I'll deal with you first, trash. Yi-chen sneered. Facing Black Tiger's energy gathering, he did not even intend to take it seriously. Such humiliation was not only to Black Tiger, but also to the entire 9th Palace. The 3 guardians glared at him coldly. They did not understand why the person before them was so arrogant. He dared to speak to the three of them like that. Was it really because of the 10th Palace's protection? The three of them looked at each other and nodded slightly. They did not care if Yi-chan was so arrogant because of the 10th Palace's support. Today he must die. Black Tiger, what are you waiting for? Kill him. Yes. Black Tiger had no choice but to use everything he had learned in his life because he knew very well that this attack could be the difference between life and death. Tiger form, Overlord Fist, roar. Underworld energy gathered, and the tiger roared in the forest. The surrounding space was swept up in a violent gale. The ground shook and mountains and rivers flowed in reverse. The power of a half-step true immortal was displayed without a doubt. Retreat. Black Cloud shouted to the disciples behind him. Yes. Ming Xin led the others to retreat. They knew very well the power of a full-force attack from an elder-level cultivator. Even a shockwave was enough to kill them instantly. Lung Jiao and the other disciples of the 9th Palace revealed sinister expressions. Yi-chan had ruined their plans earlier. Now, they would let him die in the hands of Elder Black Tiger. Kill him. They continued to shout and strengthen their voices, but only Black Tiger himself knew that he was very weak now. Your spirit is so weak. Black Tiger, you really disappoint me. Cut the crap. Die. Black Tiger braced himself and rushed forward. His strongest punch exploded. Dong, dong, dong. Just as the tiger-shaped fist light was about to devour everything in front of it, a violent gust of wind swept through the area, and dozens of 3-foot-deep pits appeared on the ground. Everyone looked closely and saw that they were actually footprints. How could such a terrifying footprint appear on such a hard rock? Before the crowd could react, Yi-chan had already appeared before the Black Tiger. All of the Black Tiger's energy accumulation was killed by Yi-chan. Yu. Black Tiger looked at the person in front of him in fear. He already knew what would happen to him. His opponent was able to completely see through his fist path in such a short period of time, launch a preemptive strike, and effortlessly restrain the eruption of his might. This person's natural talent in battle was absolutely shocking. Kacha! Before the crowd could recover from their shock, they heard a cracking sound. The tiger-shaped fist aura was completely shattered. At the same time, one of the Black Tiger's arms was also shattered. A painful cry rose into the sky. Black Tiger's body trembled like a helpless lamb struggling for the last time in front of the Wolf King. Roar! At that moment, a brutal roar shook all directions. Countless dark matter rose high from behind Yi-chan and turned into the form of a heavenly snake. It devoured Black Tiger. It was the first time for everyone present, including the 3 guardians, that someone could devour a half-step true immortal so easily. Such a domineering aura was too unreal. Lung Jiao and the rest rubbed their eyes. They could not believe that Black Tiger, the object of their worship, was being devoured by someone using a strange power. The scene was so shocking that some cultivator from the 9th Palace even peed their pants. What is this? It's too terrifying. Many disciples from the 9th Palace screamed at the top of their lungs. They were scared out of their wits. Be Aster Star, calm down. The great guardian reprimanded angrily, and the crowd quietened down. Who are you? Tell me your name. I'll never change my name. I'm the Heavenly Emperor, Yi-chan. Hearing the name, Yi-chan, the 3 guardians were stunned at the same time. The person that their palace master asked them to find who single-handedly destroyed the evil spirit Nether Prison headquarters was also called Yi-chan. Could it be? The 3 of them looked at each other with horror. If this Yi-chan before them was really the one they were looking for, they would be in big trouble this time. Elder Hei Yun smiled slightly in his heart. As expected, the person before him was Yi-chan. In this case, at least there was no conflict between the 10th Palace and Yi-chan. His previous actions might even gain Yi-chan's favor. Are you really the Yi-chan who single-handedly destroyed the evil spirit Nether Prison headquarters? The Great Guardian asked with some trepidation. Yes, so what? Yi-chan's cold eyes widened, and the Great Guardian's heart trembled rapidly. Great Guardian, he's really Senior Yi. The other 2 guardians were also at a loss. How powerful was this person who single-handedly destroyed the entire evil spirit nether prison? The three of them were only beginner true immortals. Although they thought highly of themselves, they knew that they could not be compared to such a super genius. Senior Yi, we kneel. The three of them knelt on the ground directly and kowtowed to Yi Chun. This scene left Lung Jiao and the others completely dumbfounded. As cultivators of the Ninth Divine Hall, they were very arrogant and overbearing. Now that the protectors of their hall were kneeling before this person, what did they think they were? At that moment, Lung Jiao could not accept the outcome before him. Damn it, kill him. Lung Jiao released his barrier and moved instantly. He wanted to sneak an attack on Yi Chun with his powerful movement technique. You're like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. You're overestimating yourself. Wanting to challenge him with his movement technique was the most foolish thing to do at this moment. Wind appeared under Yi Chun's feet, and he used the 9 heavens steps. He only used 3 steps to break Lung Jiao's divinity. Clang! Yi Chun grabbed Lung Jiao's shoulder instantly and squeezed gently. Heart-wrenching pain spread throughout his body. Lung Jiao was like a wobbling kite, completely at Yi Chun's mercy. You don't even have the right to make me fight. Boom! Yi Chun's aura shook, and Lung Jiao was sent flying 300 meters away. He was on the verge of death. Senior Yi, we failed to recognize you. Please forgive us. Please forgive us. The 3 guardians kept kowtowing and begging for mercy. Isn't it too late for you to beg for mercy now? We see this. The 3 guardians were like ants on a hot pan, terrified. Chapter 2071. Yi Chun approached the 3 of them. His brows furrowed, and his killing intent exploded. The 3 of them almost fainted on the spot. They had already predicted that their lives were about to end. Rumble! At this moment, thunder rumbled everywhere. A person descended from the blood-colored clouds. This person wore a blood-colored dark robe and a black gold crown. He held a black horsetail whisk in his hand as he descended from the sky with an imposing aura. The life-taking light that Yi Chun had emitted was directly kept into this person's sleeve. Someone dared to stop the judgment of heaven and earth. Yi Chun's brows furrowed as the demons reappeared. Immediately, the surrounding space rapidly stagnated, and a new change occurred. The ancient god space could freeze time and space, but the demons could freeze one's mind. Such power penetrated the heavens and earth, instantly intimidating everyone present. They felt that their minds were completely controlled by Yi Chun. They looked at Yi Chun like a demon god descending into the world, invincible. Fellow Yi. At this moment, there was a loud bang. The newcomer forcefully shattered the void and barged into the stagnant space. Who dares to stop my judgment? Fellow Taoist Yi, I was rude, please forgive me. The newcomer was the man in the blood-colored dark robe. He bowed and walked forward. He was 10 meters away from Yi Chun and bowed respectfully. Seeing this scene, everyone present was shocked. This person was the Ninth Hall Master, the Blood Fiend Patriarch. This person was usually ruthless and had killed countless people. If he did not agree with him, he could take someone's head as if it was from his pocket. However, when he saw Yi Chun, he actually bowed and walked forward, almost kneeling on the ground. This scene caused He Yun to tremble. He was thinking that even if Yi Chun really destroyed the evil spirit headquarters of the Nether Prison with his own strength, he would not be treated like this by the Blood Fiend Patriarch. There must be a reason behind this. Who are you? I'm the Blood Fiend Patriarch, the Ninth Hall Master. This time, the Guardians failed to recognize you and offended you, fellow Yi. I've come to apologize personally. With that, the Blood Fiend Patriarch knelt on the ground and apologized. Patriarch, the 3 Guardians' faces were twisted. They could not bear it. They did not expect that their momentary mistake would implicate the Patriarch to such an extent. A Patriarch kneeling to a young man was an unbearable humiliation no matter what the other party's identity was. However, in order to save the 3 of them, the Patriarch gave it his all. Yi Chun glanced sideways at this person. This person's cultivation base was unfathomable and definitely far surpassed the three guardians. He was at least a high-level true immortal. Yichen did not expect such a person to kneel before him. Blood Evil Patriarch, get up. Thank you, fellow Yi. Blood Fiend Patriarch was extremely excited, as if he had been pardoned. You three pieces of trash. Aren't you going to apologize? Blood Evil Patriarch shouted at the three protectors. Yes, Senior Yi, we're trash. Senior Yi, we all have dog eyes. We didn't recognize the expert in front of us. This time, Ancestor Meng petitioned for us. We were wrong. Senior Yi, please accept it. The three great guardians, perfected immortals, were actually weeping in front of Yichen like children. This scene was too shocking. Lung Jiu got up. This time, he was really scared silly. He had wanted to target Yichen before, but now that he thought about it, he was really courting death. Blood Fiend Patriarch, I'll give you face and spare their lives this time. Teach them a good lesson. Fellow Taoist Yi, don't worry. I'll definitely do as you say. Blood Fiend Patriarch bowed and agreed. Elder He Yun, yes. Elder He Yun hurried forward and came to Yichen's side to listen to his orders. Go to the 10th palace. Yes. He Yun was overjoyed. Fortunately, he had helped Yichen before. Otherwise, he would not be so lucky to have Yichen follow him to the 10th palace. Watching Yichen leave, Blood Evil Patriarch shook his head slightly. Sai, you bunch of trash. Fellow Yi was going to come to our 9th palace. Patriarch, Sai. The three of them wept again. Yichen followed Elder He Yun and rode a floating cloud to the 10th palace. Outside the 10th palace, the 10th palace master, Elder Qing Su, appeared at the same time with the 6 protectors to welcome Yichen. Fellow Yi, it's our honor to have you come to our 10th palace. Elder Qing Su wore a green Taoist robe. He had white hair and a youthful face. He looked much better than Blood Evil Patriarch. You're the palace master of the 10th palace? Fellow Yi is extremely smart. I'm Elder Qing Su. Let's go. Yichen turned from guest to host and walked directly toward the main hall. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Senior Yi to be so swift and decisive. However, Elder Qing Su and the others were very happy. It was a great honor for them to be able to get close to Yichen. After entering the main hall, Yichen sat directly on the high seat. Below him were Elder Qing Su, Elder He Yun, and the 6 protectors. Fellow Yi, I heard that you relied on your own strength to break into the underworld prison's evil spirit headquarters and destroy all the evil spirits. You're truly a young hero. And the others admire you very much. Yichen looked at the old man and thought to himself that he was good at flattery. He just did not know if he could answer his many questions. Fellow Yi, if you have any requests, feel free to ask. Elder Qing Su, there are many questions in the underworld realm this time. I really want to ask you. Please ask. Elder Qing Su bowed slightly. Why are you all so respectful to me? He, of course. It's because fellow Yi helped our underworld prison eliminate the scourge of the evil spirits. How dare you? Yichen shouted coldly. Elder Qing Su almost fell to the ground. Elder He Yun and the 6 protectors revealed shocked expressions and did not dare to move. Fellow Yi, why are you so angry? Old thing, how dare you lie to me? Do you know the consequences? This. Elder Qing Su looked at Yichen with a terrified expression. Someone had previously warned him that Yichen was exceptionally intelligent and would not be so easily deceived. He did not expect it to be true. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with his hand, looking very embarrassed. Yichen returned to his high seat and looked at Elder Qing Su with a cold smile. Speak, what's the real reason? If you don't give me an explanation, this time, I'll make your 10th palace fall into chaos. Fellow Yi, calm down. Elder Qing Su's heart trembled rapidly. He knew that if he did not give some effective information this time, he would not be able to keep the 10th palace. He waved his hand at He Yun and the others. The 6 protectors and Elder He Yun all withdrew. So mysterious? Yichen said coldly. Fellow Yi, this matter concerns the order of the Lord of the Underworld. I dare not be careless. Order of the Lord of the Underworld? That's right, fellow Yi. You're the person personally appointed by the Lord of the Underworld. If not for the Lord of the Underworld's messenger personally conveying the order, we wouldn't even know you. Why would we treat you like this? Interesting. Chapter 2072. Old Taoist Ching Su, what is this nether god's command? The god of the underworld's order is the embodiment of the god of the underworld's will. It's personally issued by the emissary of the underworld's god of the underworld, and it directly expresses the Lord God of the underworld's intentions. All forces and individuals in the underworld realm must obey. Not long ago, the content of the order was about you, fellow Yi. It ordered all forces in the underworld realm to treat fellow Yi well. The old Taoist priest's words were soul-stirring. It reminded Yi Chun of the battle in the underworld. Back then, he had fought a great battle with the underworld god. At that time, he had fused the origin of darkness and the demon's eye, creating the might of the Dark Lord and the underworld god. Finally, he had defeated the underworld god's clone. This was the only connection he could think of. Good. Your answer this time is not bad. Thank you, fellow Yi. Elder Taoist Ching Su was very excited. It was a great thing to be praised by Yi Chun. After all, this was the first time a person who was directly protected by the god of the underworld had appeared in the netherworld realm. However, Yi Chun's thoughts were different from his. He wanted to find the underworld god's true body and discuss the future of the underworld with him. The evil spirits of the netherworld have already been destroyed. This emperor has nothing to worry about here. How can I let you reach the netherworld divine realm? This, Elder Taoist Ching Su looked helpless. Yi Chun was confused. Fellow Yi, to tell you the truth, wanting to go to the netherworld realm now is as difficult as ascending to heaven. What do you mean? Old Taoist priest Ching Su sighed lightly when he saw Yi Chun's puzzled expression. The nether prison was directly under the nether god temple, so they naturally wanted the nether god's protection. However, the road leading to the nether god temple was already controlled by the evil spirits and various chaotic forces. Taoist Ching Su continued. It has been a long time since our nether prison and many other continents have gone to the nether god temple to pay their respects. The future is bleak. Old Taoist Ching Su. Just how many forces are occupying this path? Why hasn't the underworld god hall dispatched troops to clear them out? This old man is also very curious about this. The underworld god hall is the strongest faction in the netherworld realm, but the evil spirits have invaded many continents. Yet the underworld god hall has remained silent. Only an emissary has passed on the underworld god's orders, saying that the various continents are to deal with it ourselves. Yi Chun nodded lightly. All sorts of thoughts were running through his mind. The nether god temple's evil spirit. Yi Chun narrowed his eyes. He seemed to have found the crux of the problem. If he wanted to solve it, he would need to put in more effort. However, his time was limited. If the demon martial world and the primordial immortal world sent more fighters to the mortal world, then the underworld would be in danger. I'll personally investigate this matter. All of you, cooperate with me at any time. Please rest assured, fellow Yi. I will definitely explain it to the other halls of the nether purgatory and actively cooperate with you. Very good. Yi Chun rested for a few days in the ninth palace. Then he took the map that old Taoist Ching Su had given him and headed toward the nether god hall himself. The dark god temple was located at the highest point of the underworld realm. There were many myths and legends about it. It was the underworld realm's greatest source of faith. This time, Yi Chun was going to unveil its true colors. Stepping on an auspicious cloud, Yi Chun flew across the 9 heavens. He looked down at the nether prison continent from a bird's eye view. Many spiritual monsters scurried around, and even evil spirits hopped around. It was clear that the continent was no longer under the nether prison's control. After a day of stars, Yi Chun came to the end of the nether purgatory. As he walked forward, there were countless towering mountains and lofty ridges. It was another continent. Yi Chun flew to the top of a mountain. At a glance, he found that this continent was very strange. The ground was filled with stones, and these stones gave Yi Chun a very spiritual feeling. This feeling was different from ordinary spirit stones. He could even feel the existence of souls from them. Rumble. Suddenly, the earth shook and the mountains and rivers collapsed. Yichun found that the stones under his feet were moving. Yichun flew up and hovered in the air. He saw that the entire mountain had begun to move. This is activating the demon's eye. Yichun saw the key. This was a giant mountain. Ha ha ha. With the sound of wild laughter, the entire mountain jumped up and turned into the form of a giant. Who are you? Heavenly Emperor Yichun. Ha! How dare you call yourself the Heavenly Emperor? How arrogant! Die! Without saying a word, the rock giant stretched out his giant hand, trying to grab Yichun. Ridiculous! Yichun sneered. The Heavenly Emperor's sword appeared in his hand again. Slash! The heaven and earth slash contained powerful immortal power laws and instantly severed the rock giant's arm. Ah! A cry of pain rang through the sky. The rock giant widened his eyes and roared at Yichun. Ha ha ha! You want to stop me with your cultivation base? Do you know your mistake? What mistake? Die! The rock giant twisted his body frantically. Subsequently, his severed arm grew out again. This surprised Yichun. Can it be reborn? Yichun sensed that the reborn energy came from a peak. It was the arm formed by countless gravel. Rock Giant. That's right. We're from the Rock Giant tribe. Since you've come to our spiritual land, you'll become my meal. Who dares to be arrogant before the Heavenly Emperor? Slash. The Heavenly Emperor sword slashed again. This time, the Rock Giant learned his lesson. Like a giant ape, he flew up and dodged the fatal blow. Ha! Die. The Rock Giant flew to the top of a peak. Subsequently, his arm kept attacking the peak. Countless gravel flew over like sharp blades and attacked Yichun. Ah! With a furious roar, Yichun's body exploded with endless divine power, shattering all the rock blades in the air. Impossible. The rock giant turned pale with fright. He transformed his arm into a spear again. It was like a pillar that supported the sky and pressed down on Yichun. Ha ha! Yichun laughed out loud. Ancient god power erupted. He opened his arms and competed with the rock giant's brute force. The giant was shocked once again. He did not expect Yichun to be so strong. This was unbelievable. The strength of the stone golem tribe was the strongest in the continent, but the person in front of him was clearly a human, yet he could compete with him in strength. Ah! The 10 of them roared. Huge waves and countless gravel crashed down on Yichun. Ah! Heavenly dragon roar, 9 dragons roar, crazy aura, and stars shattered. Ah! The rock giant could not resist the ancient god power and was thrown out. Who are you? Why do you have such divine power? Heavenly Emperor Yichun, come here. Ah! The rock giant was weak and could only walk over. Whoosh! Yichun flew up and stood on the rock giant's head, controlling it to move forward. Go! Yes, master. The rock giant could only recognize Yichun as its master and moved forward quickly. Ha ha ha! I didn't expect to find a free mount in this continent. Awesome. Chapter 2073. The stone man jumped and flickered between the peaks as if it was walking on flat ground. Yichun sat on the stone man and observed his surroundings. In this domain, there were many tall peaks, giving off a piercing cold feeling. Yichun could not help but think of sword formations. This made Yichun unconsciously cautious. His sensing ability was very shocking, especially after cultivating the Tiani soul cultivation method. He even had a sixth sense that could affect the environment. Yichun sensed the stone man and found that it was a substance without any spirit. This made him very puzzled. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. There must be some connection. Dong, dong, dong. The stone man flew faster and faster. Yichun moved his divine consciousness, wanting to control the stone man in front of him. However, the stone man seemed to be controlled by some other power. It did not listen to his commands and quickly ran in one direction. In such a situation, Yichun knew that it was a trap. Stepping on the stone man, Yichun flew up. However, when he flew, he felt a powerful suction force that pulled him into it. Ha ha ha. At this moment, wild laughter filled the surroundings. An incomparably tall black figure appeared in front of Yi-chun. Yi-chun looked at the sky and realized that this black figure was a stone man. It was 300 meters tall and soared into the sky. Kill! The stone man punched at Yi-chun. The world shook and the void shattered. Countless sand and rocks flew like sharp blades, cutting through the space. Boom, boom, boom. The huge shockwave made Yi-chun feel as if he had fallen into a storm. Impudent! Yi-chun shouted coldly. The demon's eye appeared between his brows again, and he saw through this person with a glance. It turned out that this huge stone man was just a puppet, and its control was inside the stone man. Ha ha! You'll definitely die after entering my domain. Who are you? I'm the evil spirit overlord. You've already fallen into my trap. You have no right to ask. Is that so? Facing the berserk evil spirit, Yi-chun already understood that this person was sent by a higher-level evil spirit to deal with him. After all, destroying the Nether Purgatory headquarters was a huge blow to the evil spirits. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yi-chun flew into the sky and was once again suppressed by an extremely strong gravity. Trying to escape from my domain? You can't do it. Ignorant fool. How do you know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is? After being angered by the stone man many times, the heavenly Tharch sword appeared in his hand again. The heavenly Thearka's image behind him shone brightly, stirring up the wind and clouds. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Countless bolts of divine lightning fell from the sky, making the celestial Tharch look even more majestic. The golem groaned because he sensed the immense power from the celestial emperor's projection. This power caused him to feel a sense of terror. As an evil spirit, this was something he could not endure. With a furious roar, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The stone man waved his gigantic arms and charged at Yi-chun. Kill! Yi-chun spun around and slashed at the sky gate. With a loud bang, the giant stone arm shattered in the air and turned into nothingness. Dong, dong, dong. Countless stones fell to the ground. The stone man locked his cold gaze on Yi-chun. He moved instantly like a ferocious beast, wanting to devour the opponent before him. Heavenly Monarch Order. Earth Sword Reverse Slash. Yi-chun no longer hesitated in the face of the stone man's frenzied attacks. He waved the Heavenly Emperor's sword in his hand, and the reverse slash chi engulfed the entire stone man's body. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The boundless sword energy was sharp and formless. It instantly locked onto the stone man's body and exploded. After the sword energy exploded, the stone man froze in the air, unable to move. What? What did you do? A voice came from within the stone man. It was the evil spirit that controlled the stone man. Cut the crap. A minute. The evil spirit generated evil energy and broke through the air. He stood on top of the stone man's head and looked at Yi-chun in the air. Yi-chun, you killed 3 of our perfected immortal leaders. This time, you won't be able to walk out of this stone formation. Yi-chun sneered. The evil spirit before him was not even comparable to the 3 leaders. Why did he have to say such big words? At this moment, heaven and earth shook. The void opened and a cloud of dark energy rushed out. Ha ha ha. Yi-chun, do you really think we'll be so careless as to let one person wait for you here? Although I'm the one who arranged this stone formation, I don't think you know how many secrets are hidden in it. The stone man revealed a sinister smile, as if Yi-chun was still trapped in a bigger scheme. The cloud of dark energy was obviously more threatening to Yi-chun than the stone man, evil spirit. The cloud of dark energy emitted a dim light and rushed toward the countless peaks. Rumble. Suddenly, the world spun. The entire mountain range seemed to be switched on and kept shaking. The peaks around Yi-chun were uprooted and gathered in his direction. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Following that, waves of sword energy rushed into the sky. The dark energy made the sun and moon lose their light, and darkness descended. As expected, Yi-chun confirmed his previous guess. There was a sword formation hidden in this stone formation, and it was created and set up by the cloud of dark energy. Sensing the cultivation base of the black energy, Yi-chan found that this person had a strong foundation. At the same time, with the protection of the formation, he could not see its true cultivation base. However, no matter who the opponent was, no one could stop this trip to the underworld world. I advise you to find some experts. The two of you are not enough to kill, Yi-chan said with a smile as he locked his cold eyes on the two in front of him. Yi-chan, don't be too arrogant. Don't think that you can order us around just because you killed those 3 pieces of trash. The person in front of you is a Dark Hunter ranked 10th on the Evil Spirit Assassin ranking. Do you really think you have a chance to live, Dark Hunter? Huh, I'll let you die in the darkness. Yi-chan's eyes were cold. The energy around his body was like a dragon soaring into the sky. The fiery wind stomped on the ground, and in an instant, his powerful aura had already swept the entire area. At this moment, endless dark sword energy was launched at the same time. Countless peaks directly covered Yi-chan like a dome. Die, the dark energy said coldly. It was a heavy and destructive sound. Countless peaks released dark sword energy, one after another, like a huge pincer trying to crush the people in the dome. Ha ha ha, Yi-chan die in this dome. Seeing that the peaks were gradually sealing the dome, Yi-chan was suppressed by the gravity and could not escape. The stone man, evil spirit's wild laughter came from outside. It seemed very pleased. As long as it killed Yi-chan, it would have made a great contribution and would definitely be rewarded handsomely. No. Suddenly, the dark energy said something shocking. The stone man, evil spirit, was stunned. It had no idea what was going on. At this moment, the peaks in the dome began to shake continuously. This shaking carried an extremely strong destructive energy. Anyone who felt it would be incomparably terrified, as if they were being stabbed by a sharp knife. Chapter 2074. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. On the surface of the high peak, dark lightning constantly flashed. The nether deity power was already brewing. This is the nether deity power. The dark aura once again shocked the stone golem, evil spirit. It did not expect Yi-chan to really have the nether deity power. Moreover, the nether deity power seemed to be far beyond its imagination. With this strength, no one would doubt that Yi-chan was from the nether deity royal family. He's just a human cultivator. How can he have such powerful and pure nether deity power? Isn't this too exaggerated? This person can rely on his own strength to kill 3 genuine immortal leaders, so his reputation is definitely not undeserved. He is definitely related to the god of the underworld. This might be one of the reasons why he can run amok in the underworld realm. What's the point of saying this? What do we do now? This person is about to break my sword formation. We're no match for him. Retreat immediately. Retreat? My merit is right in front of me. You want me to retreat? It's up to you whether to retreat or not. With that, the dark aura spun wildly and rushed toward an alternate space, wanting to leave. Isn't it boring to retreat so easily? Suddenly, a cold voice rang in their ears. Since they were already in the killing formation, the only fun was naturally to kill the person who set up the killing formation. This was Yi-chan's principle, equality. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Dark lightning spread rapidly, and the entire high peak was on the verge of collapsing. Seeing that the situation was about to lose its balance, the dark aura frantically fled. It threw out a pill, and with a loud bang, countless dark auras appeared at the same time, wanting to fish in troubled waters by relying on the phantoms. Yu, the stone golem evil spirit, was furious. It did not expect the top 10 of the evil spirit killer ranking to be so embarrassed by Yi-chan. They had not even officially fought. Idiot, I don't have time for you. The dark aura did not care so much. Now, its only hope was to escape. It had already realized that the gap between them and Yi-chan was like heaven and earth. It was a gap that could not be bridged. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless phantoms fled in all directions. Each phantom was exactly the same. This was the ingenuity of this escape method. No one could tell the real from the fake. Rumble. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Accompanied by a deafening noise, the dome of the peak instantly shattered, and an imposing figure flew up from within. The light of the celestial arch illuminated the world, and the power of the underworld deity shook the past and present. Where are you going? With a cold shout, Yi-chun activated the demon's eye. In an instant, the entire space fell into his control. The true form of the dark energy was no exception. Under the vision of the demon's eye, there was nowhere for him to hide. No, impossible. This is the eye of the demon. The dark aura recognized the object between Yi-chun's brows. It was the symbol of the nether god, the demon's eye. What is it? The stoneman evil spirit obviously didn't realize the urgency of the situation. It didn't recognize the demon eye. Damn it. Why did I accept this mission with you? Damn it. You talk too much. Let's go. The demon's eye between Yi-chun's brows opened. Beams of underworld deity's light illuminated the entire space. In an instant, the entire territory was enveloped by underworld deity power. It was the underworld deity attainment stage. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The nether god power caused countless black lightning to flicker, and the surrounding space was completely sealed. Go! Rumble, rumble, rumble. The dark aura still wanted to escape, but collided with the lightning. Countless phantoms shattered, and its true form was revealed. This person was a man in a black robe with 2 horns on his head. He held an evil sword in his hand and gritted his teeth in anger. Ah! Yi-chun roared, and the nether divine power in his body erupted. Suddenly, a formless storm surged toward the two of them unstoppably like a flood that could destroy the world in the prehistoric world. Ah! In the blink of an eye, everything fell silent along with the roar. The torrent of nether god power passed by. No life could exist. Death was right in front of them, and destruction was here. All the peaks turned into scorched earth, and all the dark aura dissipated without a trace. The stoneman turned into dust and fell to the ground. Ah! Accompanied by a roar that sounded inhuman, the sky serpent and the furious dragon appeared at the same time. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. They opened their huge mouths and kept devouring the dark energy in front of them. Thank you for giving me power, Master. The Snake Queen's eyes were like silk. She looked at Yi-chun as if she was looking at her biggest idol. The kind of worship and love was uncontrollable. On one hand, it was because Yi-chun was too powerful, giving women a rare sense of security. At the same time, it was because the Sky Serpent had submitted to Yi-chun. Yi-chun was her only master. This was the Sky Serpent's nature. She was incomparably loyal and loved her master. Snake Queen, your foundation has reached the ascension stage. I'll find a suitable time for you to ascend. Thank you, Master. The Snake Queen was overjoyed. She had waited for ascension for a long time and finally had this chance. Roar! The space-time furious dragon roared endlessly as if there was a lingering anger. Space-time furious dragon, I know you're unwilling. Don't worry, when I find a suitable treasure, I'll definitely let you be reborn like the Snake Queen. Roar! Space-time furious dragon understood Yi-chun's intentions. In his excitement, he went berserk. Countless cracks appeared in the surrounding space. It was extremely terrifying. Go back. After receiving the order, the Sky Serpent and Furious Dragon returned to the ancient god space. Looking at the devastation around him, Yi-chun released the 8 gates disc. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Life gate open. The life gate opened, and the power of creation swept across the entire place. The scorched earth was extinguished, and the earth was reborn. Countless grass and trees were unearthed under Yi-chun's creation. Let's go. Yi-chun flew into the sky, stepping on a golden lotus as he headed toward the Dark God Hall. Underworld Realm, Evil Spirit Hall. Rumble. A huge tremor shook the heavens as a powerhouse roared. Dark hunters and stone men all died in Yi-chun's hands. The asterisk imminent. Under the roar, the entire hall was about to collapse. Many powerhouses around knelt down, not daring to raise their heads. You're all useless. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With a wave of his sharp claws, dozens of itinerant, immortal powerhouses died tragically on the spot. Ah! Cries of pain filled the air. Everyone's spirit had reached its limit. Many powerhouses' legs even turned to jelly, almost fainting. Before them was one of the 10 heavenly kings of evil spirits, the Fury Shark Heavenly King. Everyone knew his bad temper. One wrong word and he would die. Ah! Unable to dispel the anger in his heart. Only killing could give him a moment of peace. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. He opened his mouth, and his huge tongue began to absorb the power of blood. It was extremely terrifying.